Ooh, gotta put on my glasses. There we go. Now I can see way better. These are fake. How's it going? My name is Andrew. I really appreciate you guys being here, and we have a surprise guest. Oh, it's Meatball. All right, so the vet saga continues. There's a couple of things to update you guys about. However, most importantly, let's look at our boy GameStop. Earlier today, we broke $200. Now, was that anticipation of something bigger in line? For example, we have the NSCC 2021-004 filed this today, and we are likely going to have to cover it. You guys know this, right? We started a little later today because, one, it really breaks my back to have to wake up at a specific time. Also, I did have to, one, take care of the fact that we have bad internet. We don't have great internet right now while the entire area in Silicon Valley where I live is gearing up and getting fixed. As well, finally, most importantly, I wanted to be able to see if a specific daily cadence makes more sense, right? We have other YouTubers come in the morning, and I just don't want to step on their toes, you know? We can share. I always go into after hours for that specific reason, because some people get off at a specific time and some people don't. So I will try different things, and if you guys want me to come back at 6:30 or even 6 a.m. in the morning, I'm happy to do so. Scissors in the chat. Good morning. We got Will Andrews. We got Cambodian, Sean Carter. We have Chris Rakas, Scooter McDuder, we have Ben Dario, and Jason Ocampo. I really appreciate you guys showing up this morning, dropping a like on this video. I see already 100 likes. That's what I like to see. Let me see now. So we have some momentum to cover because we see that AMC also tried to do a minor breakaway here. In the morning, they might have seemed similar. However, when this market first opened, we see that the AMC dips downward in a smooth minute-by-minute pattern, while GME is volatilely sliding underneath a level of resistance that it was underneath basically all of pre-market. It was using it as support in the after hours. However, it slid underneath during the pre-market and then shot through two levels of resistance right through. Let me move my head a little bit. Boom. So that's something to be incredibly careful about, because GME would have been on a rocket ship to the attendee land if not for the fact that the VWAP was trending directly underneath it all day, and we were pretty close to a correction once the RSI stayed above 70 for, what is this, a couple of minutes. Yeah, for 5 minutes in heaven, the RSI stayed above 70, and then the correction occurred. 1, 2, 3 steps down, and this consolidation now trending as we speak. Currently, GameStop is finally going on back to that level of resistance, and it's something that we can almost expect bouncing if we can pass through this level of resistance between 195 and 187. That's something that we are going to keep a close eye on as we also live broadcast the announcement today that is going to be made for us, and understanding exactly what's happening, what's going on with the GameStop universe right now. Lisa May Loveless says, just bought another 80 shares. Mike Marr says, yeah, market open is key. Well, there you go. I'll put a poll out. Let's see. How deep is Samuel Boucher? What's the deal with the $200 break? How much volume caused it? We are looking at almost all of yesterday's volume up to like power hour, right? 6.5 million volume, all concentrated in one day. It's not like the people, the retail investors and the long whales are not the only ones listening to this broadcast, right? There are plenty of people trying to figure out exactly what to expect, you know, what kind of catalysts there are, and what we are trying to learn and focus on today. Now, I'm going to start off with a little bit different stuff. This is actually where I get my technical news, and this is a good way to be able to learn a little bit more about exactly how you can figure out the technical markets. This is called a YC Combinator Hacker News. If you guys are an aspiring software engineer or data scientist, this is where I get my news in the morning. It's a really good way to be able to get a couple of trends as well as new technology comes out, right? There is very clear like you have to understand Python to understand this article. However, there's how to manage a Dark Ages estate, all right, or a Volkswagen of America, and this should be able to give us a little bit of, you know, Norbert Wiener's relationship with Bertrand Russell. So it's like a veritable technology-based subreddit, and it's the easiest way to get your news for the morning. Speaking of news, we do want to be able to cover just a quick slide through of Renzel's morning DD coverage. As always, how's it going? All right, so Brownie Ruggs says, woof woof, glad to see Meatball at open and closing bell for an hour and other worthy live events. Fair enough. Like I said, I was never an early riser, and it's quite a grind. It's quite a grind to be able to have to compete with others, like giving out pretty much very similar information, and then being like, okay, well, how do we like differentiate as YouTubers, let's say, right? How do we like find a common ground, something that everyone can agree on? Charting analysis, obviously, is something that everybody can get behind. However, there's something that we also want to be able to cover, which is, you know, a particular piece of the pie, a particular piece of the GameStop puzzle that all of us are trying to figure out partial ways together. Okay, so let's see. That's the SEC. Rules to be followed. We have brand new bounties. So there's a $500,000 bounty awarded to whistleblowers right now for immediate release. This is insanity. Very, very short news, so just bear with me. Check this out real quick. We have, for immediate release, the Securities and Exchange Commission awarded more than $500,000 to a whistleblower who raised concerns internally before submitting a tip to the commission. The whistleblower's information and assistance allowed the commission and another agency to quickly file actions as shutting down an ongoing fraudulent scheme. The whistleblower's information prompted an internal investigation by the company, which then reported to an outside agency, which in turn provided information to the SEC. Separately, the whistleblower also reported the SEC within 120 days of reporting the violations internally to the company. Under the safe harbor provision, they are now a $500,000 and they are going to be okay, because it was reported within 120 days. Can you imagine doing crime, being like watching someone get murdered or watch someone get pickpocketed and being like, I have 120 days before it would be sus if I don't report this crime. Well, luckily, this is now brand new news. So I believe this has something to do with the closed door SEC investigation, because this is for immediate release on the 29th. I'm assuming they released it after they got that closed door conversation. That's why they had the criminal legal documents, right? We covered that already. Someone's getting pinched, and this is very much likely the whole story coming out slowly. Kevin Harsh says, would physical shares force naked shorts to close? Thank you for the super. According to this question, you have a distinction between physical shares, and I'm assuming the difference is counterfeit shares, right? Like counterfeit shorts or synthetic longs. Right now, you're likely talking about a recount. So a recount is something that would only cause a good catalyst for the squeeze if we can get the institution to be part of the recount. However, they can opt out. So as of right now, unless they really do want to, play nice with us, they're likely not going to let that happen. That's an important piece. Okay. Oh man, Jason at Campbell, thank you, I appreciate that. Blow that whistle, more money. I wish I blew this whistle. Wish, because that's a $500 million. Yeah, that's the government's money. That's like, thank you for reporting a crime that we couldn't find out without your help. And geez. Okay, so that's that. Accounting for bias. Okay, some psychology about bias here. Roll with emotion. NSCC 004 implemented on the 29th, effective immediately. Okay. Brand new rules, ladies and gentlemen. We've talked about 004. We talked about 003, which was passed a week and a half ago. And now 004, okay? As of yesterday, NSCC 2021-004 is implemented and effective immediately. What does that mean? I got you guys, don't worry. This is the IV will no longer be incorporated in calculation of value at risk, right? So this is very simply helping you understand that this is not going to be a piece of that pie anymore, right? The proposed rule change would remove the following factor as one of the evaluated because it is no longer part of the NSCC's model calculation, implied volatility, to assess whether a potential increase in market price volatility may not be fully incorporated in the historical price moves. Okay, so this is something that is going to be able to change the risk factors behind these plays that the hedge funds can do, and honestly between what you can do as a retail investor. The NSCC can pull funds from the clearing fund to help pay for a member's losses 2 business days after a loss allocation notice. Okay, so in order for it to be consistent with the language, the proposed rule change would revise this sentence to state losses charged to members are required to be paid by members on the 2nd business day. If not paid timely by any member, the corporation may treat that member as having failed to satisfy its obligation and apply the clearing fund deposit of that member to satisfy its loss allocation obligation. So this is getting to the part of snitches are getting rewarded inside the hedge fund, shark eating shark attitude here, right? They're trying to internalize an externality. They're trying to be able to build out the fact that, you know, sometimes these smaller whales are not going to want to rat out the bigger whales. That's a piece of the pie right now. So that's something that's going to be able to give them the actual like fire under their tushies to be able to say, hey, I'm not guilty here for shorting a stock into the ground and constantly attacking it, manipulating its price. If I'm not guilty, I don't want to have to pay for it. I'm going to go rat out the hedge funds that are actually doing that. All right. Okay. So, taking your constructive advice, some people think that I speak too bombastically. So I'm going to work on that. It's kind of like just my attitude, right? This is just kind of my high energy, like bombastic style. But I can dumb it down. I can be less interesting, speak more intelligently. Oh yeah, the 801. That's the most important piece of the puzzle here. Sideways, baby. So it's trading sideways, max pain territory. Let's see this in a second. Oh, okay, so there wasn't that much to be updated on Rensel's page. Edit 1. GameStop appoints Chief Growth Officer. Now that's the ticket here. Clee Torres. Hey, were you originally Melvin and Friends? Great show. I appreciate it, Clee Torres. Clee has been a great supporter of the show from the beginning. I appreciate that. That's pretty fun. Let's see. Christopher Katsev, are you going to reveal any more information about my upcoming Hollywood fame? Well, once again, it's a Netflix docu-series. I just talked to the director. He has some pretty great vision for the show, in my opinion. I think he wants to make this right. And of course, the weight of having Netflix say, like, this is good or bad is probably weighing heavily on his shoulders. I would say that he is going to do a fantastic job, and I'm super excited to be part of it. I think they're going to make this a year-long process because obviously the story isn't finished. They don't want to like write out a piece of the script that doesn't exist yet. So they're going to wait for this to pan out, but they have 3 whole hours, right? 3 episodes of this docu-series. So that's plenty of time to cover a whole bunch of stuff. Hopefully, I can come in and explain some shorting with dog treats. That was my first video about this whole subject. So yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. All right, GameStop. Let me go back to that price over here. So it's up 3%. AMC is down 3%. It's give and take these days. If you guys did have a ticker symbol you guys wanted me to look at, I'm happy to do so. Okay, so hired new chief, Chewy Chief. So Chewy Chief. Oh, was it the $25 million of deep in the money calls? So let's look at that call option chain, because this is pretty crazy. GME breaks $200. Hired new Chewy CGO. The CGO and then Vice President of Merchandising. Now, these These are Amazonians and Chewy execs here. Okay, so let's look at that options chain. Oh, Melvin and friends, they're back. It was me. I was just messing with you. Look at the previous name. I will buy another 3K USD worth of GME tomorrow. We'll send screen on Discord as proof. Very cool. Hey, there are plenty of people that are supporting the show and trying to get us up to 75K. We are pretty close. Let's say that we are 3,000 away from Jesse B. Truckin's goal. So if we can get 3,000 more subs, I'd really appreciate it. Let's get this bread, guys. Okay, let me make this a little smaller so that there we go. Aha. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Okay, and remember, smashing that like button helps Eric Andres buy 20 more shares of AMC if we can get to 5K likes. Not a financial or legal advisor here. Oh boy. So yesterday we had ridiculous amounts of in-the-money calls down here. We can look at that in just a second. But today, look at that beautiful gamma ramp. It's small but mighty. At $200 today, there were $2 million worth of calls. Likely how it barreled past $200 for just a second, all the way up to 202.18 as the daily high. If we can push it past $200 again, that gamma ramp is going to lead us straight over to this. Maybe it can be as high. There's not a lot of great volume. There's not a ton of calls, all less than $1 million, but cumulatively, there's about $1 million worth of calls all the way up to $200, $300. Let's look at the 29th. So boom, let's look at this weird action here. Okay, that's $25 million worth of deep in the money calls. Some of you were astutely aware that yes, this is the same as the deep in the money calls. Back then it wasn't so deep in the money, but this is the same calls as Roaring Kitty, right? So these are brand new calls that are matching or trying to mimic what Roaring Kitty was doing way back when. Okay, so let's see if we can cover a little bit more about the NSCC 004. Actually, let's just do the Ape Too Long Didn't Read. B Showtime says bought lots of AMC today. Let's see. Now Brad Rich says 74,000 people watching, 74,000 subscribers. Thanks for your time, says Soul Catcher. What does Cresco look like to me? Cresco's on deck. You see the 2 million options at $200 strike. Just saw it. Good. Glad I'm a little off. Another Amazon guy. So Amazon guys have been added. Hold on. Here we go. So we have Ms. Wolf, previously served as Chewy's Vice President of Marketing, and then in her role, Ms. Wolf will help drive branding, content, social media strategy, and other digital initiatives. And then we have Tom Peterson, who previously served as Chewy's Vice President of Merchandising. He also held senior marketing and merchandising roles at specialty retailers such as Artenzo and Coro. Now, as a reminder, this is quite important because they're both Chewy people. And we know that Ryan Cohen is starting to just replace the entire direction of where we are going with these Chewy people. So there you go. Let's see. Okay, so we have this Too Long Didn't Read about what exactly is happening with 004. Christopher Katzef says, has it ever happened in history that a company has sold all of its shares? I mean, like Hypo GME has. So you're probably talking about multiple hundreds of percentage points of ownership of the float. And this is, well, ever since shorts existed, this has not been like an impossible event. However, it does seem like the reason why it's rare is because the manipulation and the maliciousness behind the intent, right? You can have a like intent that doesn't really show off as like, ooh, that's scary. But at the end of the day, the actual piece of it is that they mean to hurt the stock with their shenanigans. And that's why it's really rough. That's why it's not so fun. Can you show my dog on the Netflix documentary? Probably not. I'm not even sure if I can show my dog. Meatball, you okay? You doing fine? So Meatball's not quite done with his vet journey, so we have to talk to a specialist coming up now because of some possible arrhythmia, like dangers with Meatball during his surgery. So he has not gone under the knife yet. So we do want to be able to get him under a specialist's care and then figure out exactly what's going on with his heart and then figure out if it's safe to go with the surgery. So that's a very fast update with Meatball. You guys like that 60-second update situation, so maybe I'll do one for the NSCC 004. So let's look at this one. Let's look at this real quick. Ape Too Long Didn't Read. The NSCC has filed this document yesterday at the end of the day. NSCC and DTCC are clearing corporations, so basically they're the ones stuck with the dog poopy when the hedge funds come to them and say, we fook. So they filed this document today. Many parts to this document, but one part in particular was to clarify the plan, what would happen if this hits the fan, basically. In their words, okay, so we're gonna try and summarize all of these 5 points in 60 seconds. So that's what's gonna happen right now. Kakov Film saying, when you buy AMC, drop a little into GME each time. You'll be fueling both rockets. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Now we're learning. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, we are, what is this? 770 subs away from 75,000. Would be really nice to be able to get up there today. We did get up to 74 yesterday, so that's one step at a time, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes, and a big thoughts about Trey. Big thoughts go out to Trey. I really do want to say, Trey, I hope your eyes get better. I hope in general you have enough time to just enjoy life, right? We are 100% with you all the way. Gorilla's in the chat for Trey. He put out a quick 2-minute update on his health. Generally, he is going to try and maybe get on a live stream today, maybe tonight. But I know that everyone is worried about him. I know nobody is pressing him too hard. I know none of you are. So that's the most important piece of our friendship group. Everyone is a Moon, Platoon, Mo Monkey, Gorilla Gang, Space Ape. Everybody works together. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna read some of your comments here. Shruti says, hello Andrew. What's up, Shruti? Let's see. Dates Create Paper Hand says Flying Brian BMX, always a fantastic name. How old is Meatball? He's turning 8 this year. He's getting on. He's getting on in age. He's turning 8 years young. Okay. Ooh, Chris Rakus, what's going on? Almost 3K for us here and less than 600 likes. Takes a second. Let's hit the good luck and up trading. Oh, I appreciate that, Chris. I really do. Let's get this bread, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Oh, man. Okay, so let us try and distill DTCC. Then we're going to cover exactly what we need to understand for the options chain that has come up, basically. And then a little bit more about why trading sideways can actually be a catalyst. And then we will go back and do a little bit of charting. So, GameStop. What have you to teach us right now? One of the first things, actually, yeah, I said charting last, but maybe I'm so curious. I do want to do a little bit of charting right now. You do see a bottoming out here in the midday, but minute by minute is more for scalpers, right? We're just a buy and hold kind of crew. But of course, you're up. You can do whatever you want. None of this is financial and legal advice. Look at that. I have a brand new bottom disclaimer. So one of the first things, $182 as a floor. Now that was actually the same floor that GameStop was hovering around in the pre-market. So we see it hover around here, we see it hover around here, and of course we see it just trade completely sideways in the after hours, right at 182. So makes sense that this actually ends up being either a brand new support. Let's see if it gets bounced off of that number again in the near future. One of the next things you'll see is a lazy, I'm gonna call this a lazy impulse, right? We have a concave rise here, and when we try to reach the top of this, we actually got over this resistance real quick, and when that happened we started to dip almost immediately. So this impulse has a 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe 5 is coming up next. So if we can track this lazy impulse here with a trend line, we are likely going to see that it's going to continue this direction. Now that said, that would only be if this, what is this, $4 subwave continues its path right now. However, this can also be seen as a reverse wedge. So we are wedging ourselves upward with a rising level of support with the same level of resistance. So since this is coming from a downtrend, there could be a chance that this breaks downward. However, we will see as this pattern continues to develop. Eric Andres, what's going on? Can we please hit that 5K likes? I'm ready to buy. These prices are great. Oh, Eric Andres doubling down. Let's go. Love that attitude. Just confirming that he is a Mo Monkey ready to roll. Okay, so in their words, the DTCC Rule 004 is the plan is intended to address the risks of uncovered losses or liquidity shortfalls resulting from the default of one or more of its members. Number 2, the plan identifies tools that may be used to address foreseeable shortfalls of NSCC's liquidity resources following a member default. The plan's goal is to maximize resource availability in an evolving stress situation, maintain flexibility in the order and use the sources of liquidity, and to repay any third-party lenders of liquidity in timely manner. The plan supports an industry effort designed to prepare carrying broker-dealers for an emergency mass transfer of large quantities of customer accounts and assets from a distressed broker to a financially secure broker. The next section is on tools that can be employed by NSCC to mitigate loss, blah, blah, blah. There's no way they can do it in an entire too long to read. If you want the full perspective, it's worth the read tomorrow, maybe when you guys have more caffeine pumping through your blood. Essentially, this is just giving the NSCC a nice big screwdriver, right? Where is this screwdriver going? You can think about where this is going, but it's a tool to allow the NSCC as well as DTCC. NSCC is just a smaller body inside the DTCC to make everybody accountable, but it doesn't have the intention of making members pay for each other's defaults until 008. All right, we got that now? Hi, Andrew, says Thomas Proctor. What's going on? Richie Ramos, I'm not going to say that. But you can like anyway. All right, so let's see my face real quick. Hold on, NSCC. Which trading platform do you use? Well, I use WeBull. In fact, it's probably time for you guys to check this link out if you guys haven't gotten your two free stonks. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clip Sam's comment so I can bring it out here. Bring it in there. Cool. I use this platform. Hello. Okay, so, whoa, stop it. Okay, here we go. Hey guys, this is a 60-second explanation of what the 004, the DTCC 004 actually means for you. It was passed yesterday. We've been talking about it for a while, but exactly what is the DTCC, what is the NSCC, and how does this affect the GME and AMC debacle? Well, first, the DTCC is the purse string holder for the purse strings. You need money, you go to a bank. A bank needs money, they go to the DTCC, and they ultimately set up the insurance policies, $1 trillion worth, if something like AMC or GME squeezes and someone has to pay. The 004 is a set of rules that allows the DTCC and the NSCC, which is a smaller body inside the DTCC, to essentially say, hey, hedge funds, if one of you screws up, we are going to set up a big screwdriver, a tool that will make more than just the person that screws up to pay the bill, right? And this is not going to be a complete set of regulations without the 003, which was passed the week before, and the 008, which has not yet been passed. So that's the missing picture. It makes the hedge funds snitch on each other because the innocent ones, the little baby beluga long whales, those ones are going to be incentivized to rat out the ones that are actually guilty once the 008 comes out. So we are 2 out of 3 Infinity Stones, and I think you guys who agree, that's pretty exciting. Some of you have asked what kinds of trading platforms do I use? I use WeBull, and if you wanted 2 free stocks, you can get them right down below by pressing that WeBull link and hitting that subscribe and like button to get this message out to more apes. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the money. You'll notice that I actually updated this list. So Moon Platoon, Meatball Space Legend tier, and the Gorilla tier, you guys are all updated now. Okay. I need to drink more water. Oh man, gorillas don't drink water. Gorillas don't drink water. Okay. Sideways trading, and that's what we want. Take my energy, Mrs. Jenna Owens, the new COO. Let's see. Ryan, we support you. Let's compare 9 ETFs containing a GME today. Wah 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 wah. Yeah, they're both down almost exactly the same pattern right here. I mean, you can't even make this up right here. This is gonna piss off some big boys at the table. I agree. So this is Kelly Durkin, the new Senior Vice President of Customer Care. Either the GME will be the catalyst for the market crash will be the catalyst for GME. Does this have a better too long didn't read? No. The liquidation and wind down process is now updated and improved. In the event a member of the DTCC needs to be liquidated. And if they need to be liquidated, boom. Okay. Let's see. Let me get a shout out for the apes, says Leroy Johnston. Let me get a shout out for the apes. Oh, Jacob says I couldn't find that channel this morning because there's no AMC keywords in the title. Really? Is that true? Huh. Well, it's because AMC is not doing much right now, but I will. I'll just put AMC updates. CGO, Chief Growth Officer. That's an interesting title. It's kind of like one of those titles that's like in nebulous, like, what did they actually do? They just grow the company. Dang. 10 Ape Commandments. 10 Ape Commandments. Okay, so let's see. Oh, interesting. This is a post by Warden. I haven't even seen it yet. Okay, I haven't actually read this yet. Uh-oh. Okay, well, let's give Warden a platform here. So, discussion with Warden, clearing a couple of misconceptions, addressing concerns people have. Hey everyone, I'm going to make this post to address some confusion and misconceptions people might have had about the recent stream. I also want to address the negativity people had towards our guest during the stream, Andrew Mo Money. I think it's rude to throw derogatory comments towards Andrew, especially when he is part of the GME community. Guys, ape no fight ape. We need to cut out the negativity, and I will pause future streams until we can accept that there is no room for divisive behavior. I watch Andrew Mo Money myself, find it valuable that Andrew has cataloged so much DD on his channel. It's really hard to find old DD on Reddit, especially when posts get buried. Now straight on to the point and address some misconceptions people had. Some comments from user Fear Value. They're talking about Warden sounded so legit, and now they're calling him a shill. You can watch my video that my opinion is, I don't know how high it will go. If apes hold until after the peak, the price can go up to $1 million a share, plain and simple. Please don't spread misinformation saying I said 10K is the ceiling. I never said that. So that's Warden defending himself. Let's see, people are calling him an undergraduate kid with limited market experience. If you followed my earlier posts where I was more active with predictions, the majority of them were accurate. My later posts were meant to have the audience understand the possible paths I see. So if you make your own predictions, I ease my predictions a lot in recent posts. He is still going off of FINRA reports saying SI could be faked when GME is just stated over 100% sus. He said that how hard it is to find accurate FINRA SI is. Furthermore, he never said what the real SI is. This is simply because there is no trustworthy data source that can provide me with a definitive answer. They will simply say that the SI is high. Not because a college kid fuds me in and out after just appearing all of a sudden. Everything they said in stream is supported by evidence. If there's a burning house, one person was telling you it's an illusion, another person told you your house is on fire, who would you listen to? Please don't spread information to support your confirmation bias. It's not right. Support your investment decisions with proper due diligence and correct facts. If you watched my video, Warden's video, he makes it clear how OBV does not support GME. We've covered that as well here. I am now open to further criticism and questions. It's my goal to clear up misunderstandings and to address the concerns of this community. Very, very mature. I really support Warden for this message. I feel like this is something that needs to be considered because he is one of the more important voices of daily charting and providing his time for us to be able to create these analyses, and glad I scrolled past it. Yeah, first pixel, now they're trying to make us hate on Warden. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so once again, do not be a bot. It's really hard for mods to be able to find out exactly who are the bots and who are the actual, misled apes. And if you are a misled ape, that's okay. But remember, apes do not fight apes. Let's see. Okay, let me see. Ooh. Okay, so. Oh, Flying Brian BMX, I appreciate that. Okay, so let's go back to how trading sideways is a catalyst liftoff, and that's exactly what we're here. And that's what we want, and here's why. Is this going to talk about the cup and handle? That's my question. Trading sideways inflicts max pain theory on short hedge funds, countering their hedging by keeping them neutral to make them bleed out even quicker, unable to profit off GME volatility via options both up and down each swing. That's fair. Holding doesn't, when it trades sideways, holding doesn't hurt us, but they can't make money off of this trades if it's not volatile and swinging back and forth. Let's see. Let's see. Charlie, saying new indicator coming soon. Well, let's see. So, GameStop broke out of the channel that I built here, but it did contest 183 as expected, but this small impulse ultimately decided to fizzle down and could not get supported by 187, instead got rejected, and now is trending underneath 187 here. I'm imagining now that it is starting to a wave of consolidation, that it will have to actually stay underneath here until a more volume occurs. So like we said, the very first hour we had 6.5 million. It's been another hour and all we see is 500,000 more. So the volume comes in the early morning and then just fizzles out. Let's see. Any theories on why the Amazon hire didn't push us higher? It's likely because it's not like, it's a nebulous aspects of what the chief growth officer does. It feels like at the end of the day, it's a role that signals that more Chewy and more ex-Amazonian execs are currently in the weeds and now in the pipe work, but it's not like they got a new CFO quite yet, right? It's not, they still have major roles to fill, and we're not 100% sure which one of these is going to be able to get GameStop off the ground, like unless it's Ryan Cohen, in which case then we know exactly what we're getting himself into. Let's see, hires ex-Amazonian exec. Okay, here. Yeah, power hours when the announcement for GME is. Can you tell Meatball I said hi, says Drew Hunter? Meatball? Drew says hi. Okay. Oh, you tired. GME meeting today. Do you know when it is? Yeah, it's going to be at noon PST or 3 p.m. Eastern. So there's a trading sideways TD here. Oops. This is WallStreetBets. Palantir is a low bottom company, has become too important to fail. Here is why. We really care about Palantir these days, huh? Viacom to the moon. Fair enough. People are talking about that fire sale on Viacom because of Archegos yesterday. Either GME will be the catalyst for the market crash, or the other way around. GameStop starts selling GPUs and immediately sells out. That's some good news right there. All right, let's do another 60-second video here. Posted on SEC award over $500,000 awarded to Whistleblower. So let's take a look at this. So why do I get this so high? There we go. So can I actually do this while my face is here? Yeah, I can actually. I'll just do it like this. Okay, so there's that. This goes here now. Perfect. Okay, so this is a 60-second update on this whistleblower. Raise concerns internally before submitting a tip to the commission. Reported the SEC within 120 days of reporting the violations internally to the company. The SEC treats the whistleblower's information as though it's been submitted at the same time as internally reported, as long as the whistleblower also reports information to the SEC within the same time as the SEC. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Hey guys, this is a very quick 60-second update on a whistleblower in the SEC. We see right here, too long didn't read, of course we only have 60 seconds, that a whistleblower came to the SEC within 120 days. That's under the safe harbor provision of the SEC's guidelines, and now they're going to treat this information criminal information, raising internal concerns, and this may very much likely be related to the closed-door SEC meeting that happened earlier on a couple of days ago. And that's one of the most important questions. If the SEC is having closed door meetings about pulling up criminal legal documents and then having this whistleblower come out with actual information of what they are criminally prosecuting, now we are likely seeing the end game arrive right as we see it. If you guys have not yet gone down to the description down below, there's a good chance that you guys have not gotten your $250 of free Bitcoin. If you do press that link, go ahead and deposit up to however much you want to get $250 of free Bitcoin, and you can get 8.6% APY, which is how I keep a savings account, because which savings account is going to be able to give you that much money? For now, but not for forever. I'll see you after you like and subscribe to get this video out to more Space Apes and Moon Platoon members, and we'll see you in the money. Yeah, people are talking about Tesla, so let's look at Tesla real quick. Tesla, oh, that's not Tesla. That's Tesla. So Tesla is up, oh, actually only up a percentage point from yesterday. It's because it dipped a good amount during after hours, got to 620 the day before, and now is trending upwards after a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because there more? Is this looking like it's going to be supported at 620? Because then it could have a 7-part impulse wave. And if these waves are any indication, this wave was from 597 to 616. That's about $20. This wave is only 11 to 25. So that's about $14. So from 20 to 14, that's a decrease of 6. At minimum, we could see one more subwave get us up. If we start at 618, another $10. So we could be seeing Tesla rise upwards of $630. So let's zoom out a little bit. This is just some day trading micro analysis here. Patterns. Can I zoom up or out so I can draw? There we go. Beautiful. So actually it looks more like this. There we go. So let's see if Tesla follows that path. Okay, back to GameStop. Official Mark Frab. What's up, bro? Hope Meatball's feeling well, bro. Oh, I appreciate that. I really do. Meatball's right here. He's sleeping. He's tired. He had a long day yesterday. Favorite ape will always be Donkey Kong Scrambot. Let's see. Donkey Kong what does that mean? Krimmer says, I have financial advice. Sell when it moons. Well, I don't have financial advice, unfortunately. From my side, I don't have any. Hey, Andrew, how much do you think they're spending to keep GME price down? It's usually a leverage of somewhere between 100 to 500, right? So if they're leveraging like $500 million, sorry, if they're leveraging like $1 million, they should be able to like push down market cap of GME like $500 million. So at one point, they were leveraging a couple $1 million to manipulate the price like billions of dollars. It really just depends on how much data literacy do you guys have? How much do you understand of what they can do? Because as of right now, they can do so much and get away with it. It is daunting to have to fight against a hedge fund these days. But you guys know what it is. It's a good fight. We're not going to stop fighting the good fight. Do you think the Fed ending the SLR program tomorrow will make it harder for hedge funds to get funding? Yes, 100%. SLR. Let us cover the SLR right real quick. So this is the 3 60-second videos that we're going to put out today, because I know some of you like 60-second videos. So I want to be able. I don't want to put out too much, but I believe the most important pieces are the Whistleblower, the NSCC 004, and the SLR rule, because it's happening tomorrow. It's really important. Let me see if I can just find a good. First domino has fallen. Really, this is like an undercovered situation. The SLR rule is pretty important. Banks and liquidity. Here we go. Get rid of this. Thank you. I saw a great SLR explanation earlier. Okay, so JP Morgan Stanley. Hold on. Trillions to be added to the SLR calculation on March 31st. Okay, so bank stocks fall after a Federal Reserve Board lets SLR temporary rule fall. This is back. Oh, this is in 2021 actually. Supplementary leverage ratio rule scheduled at the end of the month. So that's currently the biggest piece right now. GME flash sale? Fash sale, gotcha. It's a fash sale. YGMZ, okay, I can check that out real quick. Pumplepus. I don't think I can say that, but this user says, can you give a quick update on AMC, please? Just join. Sure thing. AMC, actually I haven't done technical on it yet, so let's do it real quick. So AMC has that immaculate, unfortunate, but very, very clean corrective wave here. Each subwave seems like it is roughly 50 cents. So a 50-cent subwave down, small recovery, and then a 50-cent subwave down. This is a perfect corrective wave if any textbook has ever seen it, right? This is either due to paper hands, which we always see a morning bounce, or we are likely seeing the beginning of, too much excitement for AMC predictions and possibilities. People are getting impatient, right? Remember, slow tempered sideways trading is what we're trying to achieve right here. Volatility only helps volatility unless it causes like intense spikes in price, are going to essentially allow the hedge funds to ride the elevator of the price back and forth and keep picking up tendies on the way for themselves and not sharing any with us. What we notice here is that AMC does hesitate before it falls through two levels of support here at 996 and 986. It does get supported slightly 10 cents underneath that these tightly knit support levels here, then pushes directly back through and now teeter-totters above 996 as the level of support here. Notice how it is hugging the VWAP as if that is currently suppressing it as a makeshift resistance here. Honest Harry's working on some DD. We'll be back around 40 by year's end. Ooh, baby. Stephen Clark says, hey, just joined. Will you get a GME update? Sure. GME and AMC are going to be benefiting from the DTCC 004 rule that just got implemented yesterday. Also, for GME, we are paying attention to Power Hour announcement later today, which I'll be live streaming if I can. You know what? Let me try to find it right now. Because we also have the SLR rule expiring tomorrow. Exciting stuff every day. What was I doing to GME announcement. Oh, Investor Place says one big catalyst is coming April 5th. Okay, we're going to talk about that GME announcement in just a second. I'm going to push it up here. Whoa. One big catalyst is coming on April 5th. Okay, so I'm going to use the restroom real quick, take a look at Meatball sleeping, and take a look at Chair. I'm not going to block him this time. And I will be back in about 30 seconds. Okie dokie. Thanks for waiting, guys. So, I see Meatball has finally eaten Andrew to take over the show. Ah, yes. That's fun. Man. Meatball, blink twice if you invested in Chewy. Have you invested in Chewy? Wow. Meatball, do you have any Dogecoin? Meatball, did you answer any of these questions? Take care of the chat. Take care of the chat and they'll take care of you. That's what I always say. Okay, how close are we? Oh, okay. Still 770 subs away from 75,000. Getting close. Getting close. Big catalyst. So this is from the Investor Place. News today from Reddit favorite GameStop already has GME stock climbing. So this is from earlier when GameStop hit 200 bucks. Let's see. That's how quick this is. GME and the Ryan Cohen rocket ship. Okay, so this is pretty simple. Wait, hold on. I just want to understand what the actual thing on April 5th is. Wilk starts his tenure. Oh, Elliot Wilk is the Chief Growth Officer. Oh, sweet. Okay, so that's why. That's why the announcement hasn't triggered anything yet. It's because they're not working yet. Word is you got a Netflix contract or interview. I have had 3 interviews now, 2 producers, twice with a producer and once with a director, and nothing is confirmed. But I don't think I can speak anything more about it other than that it's going to be an awesome Netflix docu-series. 3 episodes, 1 hour each. It's going to be super exciting. I'm excited for me. Okay, let's get rid of this. Okay, so hey guys, if you guys heard today, we had some major announcements for GameStop on specifically what? On changes in the C-suite. And this is likely tied to a big catalyst coming up on April 5th. I say likely because it is. If you guys want to stick to the end of the video, I would really appreciate it because we are getting the news out here so that you don't have to go dig around for it, and the technical analysis bell to bell each morning so that you don't have to either. If you guys want to join in for a live stream and make sure you don't miss out on this financial journey, hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button so that we can defeat the YouTube algorithm together by smashing that like button as well. Each time we have some promises from members of the community to buy AMC shares and for likes and subs. So we really appreciate you guys helping out, and now onwards we go. So to news today from Reddit favorite, GameStop already has GME stock climbing. Appears that one big catalyst is coming on April 5th, and that is right in line with Ryan Cohen turnaround plan. So what do you need to know? Ryan Cohen is a big investor in GameStop. He also is now, without being able to say much about it, likely at the helm of GameStop's organization and leadership for the time being, all the way until he can actually say something years later. So right now, we are noticing some big changes in that leadership organization. Let's pay attention. As a quick refresher, Cohen is the Chewy founder who became an activist investor and then a board member. Okay, one sec. His guidance helped spark the WallStreetBets frenzy as a short squeeze rally combined with a real turnaround dreams. In recent weeks, Cohen has sparked similar buying interest after becoming the head of a new strategic committee and helping push out 8 board members. Truly, they are all retiring, and basically everyone who isn't loyal to Mr. Ryan Cohen, they're out of there, which is very similar to like a red wedding or a purple wedding kind of situation. Anyone who isn't going to be jiving with the RC flow, they're gone. And now it seems Cohen is at it again. On Tuesday morning, which is today, GameStop announced that it had hired a chief growth officer. Elliot Wilk will fill the position, leaving a 7-year career at Amazon. So he's an ex-Amazonian. There, he held leadership roles that touched Amazon Fresh, Prime Pantry, and worldwide private brands. And we know those 3 big projects essentially put Amazon on the board of getting these fast and oftentimes perishable products out to people who needed them very quickly. So customer service and growth is the name of the game here. Before that, he also held a brand manager and marketing roles at Procter & Gamble. Importantly for GME fans, Wilk starts his tenure at GameStop on April 5th, right? This is not an April Fool's joke. You're not going to hear a single April Fool's joke on this channel. Once there, his job will be to focus on growth strategies and marketing, including through expanding the reach of Power Up Rewards and Game Informer. The company also says that he will help expand customer insights and other marketing metrics. Now, this is going to be part of the announcements later today. If you guys have not yet seen that, likely going to clip that together and show you exactly what is GameStop doing with the original news organization that organized their October announcement of their Microsoft partnership. So we're looking forward to that starting at Power Hour today. Additionally, the Cohen era is bringing 2 other executives. Andrea Wolf is coming from Chewy to serve as Vice President of Brand Development, and Tom Peterson, also from Chewy, will now serve as Vice President of Merchandising. Exciting stuff to see. 3 brand new announcements for the exec team. GME stock in the Ryan Cohen rocket ship. So what else do investors need to know about the news? Bulls are taking it as good news, with GME flying 6% in pre-market trading following the announcement. We saw nearly double-digit, actually I think we did see double-digit rise today with a previous close of 180 and a high of 202. That is a rise of 20 bucks, which is 10%. So we saw a 10% rise today. Now we are consolidating right between a market close and that high at around 190. Let's see where we go. News in the quarterly conference call that GameStop is targeting 8 and tech and e-commerce initiatives also helped. It seems that for Cohen, much of the first phase involves getting the right people into leadership positions. With another steal from Amazon starting on April 5, investors are paying close attention. So what does this make you feel? First of all, let me tell you what I think. Right now is the difference between the AMC and the GME saga. Leadership, right? We know Adam Aron cares. We know Adam Aron goes and the CEO of AMC travels to all the news organizations and talks, right? We don't have that same electric personality with the CEO of GME. However, GME has Ryan Cohen. And now that Ryan Cohen is putting little Ryan Cohens all throughout the executive team, this is likely going to be the start of something that we cannot put the genie back in the bottle once this entire GameStop leadership board gets gutted and replaced. That's one of the most important pieces of the pie right now, is if you can think of GameStop playing a longer term plan, not only hiring thousands of more employees for this year alone, but also getting the best and brightest, poaching actual members from Amazon and from his own company Chewy. Like, this is one of the best opportunities for GameStop to make it clear that that earnings call was just a precursor to something more and better. And if Ryan Cohen isn't going to come and speak today at that special announcements, I will be disappointed, but my expectations will be tempered. Most importantly, temper your expectations so that once these executives start getting into the groove, right, onboarding takes a good amount of time, but I'm sure that they are hard pressed, time pressed to hit the ground running. And that's something that I'm expecting them to be able to change the narrative on, right? How can we initiate one squeeze before another, which is what we're trying to do, if AMC and GME continue trading sideways together and being all basically mirror parallels of each other, both ups and downs. We want one to squeeze first, doesn't matter which one, and then we can transfer our attendees from one to the other. As always, as a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. This was not financial advice, but it is advice for you to go down and use the same broker that I use, WeBull, to get 2 free stocks if you guys haven't yet, or use BlockFi as a great place to store money and keep your crypto safe by owning your own wallet and getting 8.6% APY on top of that. So if you guys have done that already, the only thing left is to like, subscribe, and we'll see you later in the money. If you guys want to see your face here, I can barely see my own face on the Moon Platoon or the Gorillionaire or the Meatball, the Space Legend tiers, go ahead and drop the fat join next to the subscribe button, which you guys have already pressed, and the Patreon link, which is down in the description below. For now, but not for forever, we'll see you in the money. Okay. We miss Trey. More gorillas in the chat for Trey. Come on. More gorillas in the chat for Trey. Our thoughts go out to Trey. Let's see. He'll likely be online later today, and then we'll be able to see more about that. Basically ask him a couple questions about how he's feeling. So that GameStop news. I need to find it. So Catalyst. Yes, here we go. So I found that. And now look at the agenda. Company events. So here's the agenda for that meeting later today. Let's take a look here. So what do we have? We have, kind of hard to read. We have agenda. Key competitive dynamics within the video game retail industry. GameStop, Walmart, Best Buy, and Target. Revenue analysis of GameStop's existing business segments, new pre-owned and accessories, and then digital transformation efforts. Ooh, okay, digital transformation efforts. We've been trying to consider esports for the longest time. For the longest time now. So we could imagine that this is one of the opportunities for, let's see, online sales and penetration growth methods. This is likely going to be talking about their gaming chairs and how they're going to try to take advantage of the fact that the economy is turning back around and they want to, not miss out on that recovery wave that people want to spend their stimulus checks on. Foot traffic recovery trends post-pandemic. Okay, so that's another, it's likely going to be in line with that conversation of how to get people in the door, especially with the pandemic easing up. Like, how can we get people interested again? Let's see, near-term risks, highlighting public image and longer-term outlook. They might be talking about Ryan Cohen and the earnings report being so gross and ugly. So that's something to consider. Okay, well, anyway, it's going to be about 3 p.m. Eastern, New York. Third Bridge Forum is pleased to host the interview GameStop, T-commerce transformation, and structural business overview. Dial in details upon request. I would like to request access. Hold on, Third Bridge Forum. Here it is. Asking the Bulgarian questions here. Oh, hey, check out Andrew Momoni on YouTube. He streams all the events. He said he'd be live streaming the meeting. Thanks. Well, I said I was going to stream the meeting if I could find it. No one knows how to access this. Even though it literally just says request access in this button here. So, GME BP analyst to discuss e-commerce transformation. I'm just going to straight up look for it. Cue the Avengers theme song. Yes, heck yeah. People saying Senseonics is coming for... Senseonics is giving out free money? This is bad. This is obviously not it. Maybe Ryan Cohen is going to drop some news pre-market so they have something to chirp about. How could he? He's not allowed to say anything. GameStop, e-commerce transformation. Well, if anybody knows how to access it, let me know. As of right now, stumped. Let's see if there's any news here. Okay. 22 days ago, dang. Okay, so these are the SLR updates here. Juice's Ghost says, dude, I like money. Heck yeah. Let's see. Banks and liquidity. And the banks have an obligation to make sure that they are in a position of high risk and must retain a certain buffer zone of capital to protect customers. It's hard to see this issue with margin calls that are leading to losses with the banks for companies that were over-leveraged. These losses are messing with the bank's liquidity even further. I think these are circumstances you may start to see banks becoming even more conservative in their relay. But we already understand this. I'm just trying to find a little bit more about like the data itself. The SLR is so that the that banks have a clear understanding of what is a risky bet and what is not a risky bet according to the government. And if they are not allowed to be as risky, this could basically wipe out their infinite stock glitch with this with constantly naked shorting the stock. Sergio Forero says, imagine for a second that right now the stock just shoots up to $500 a share. Just imagine it. Ooh. We need more scoops, says Nathan Adams. That's scoops. So remember that channel that I drew earlier today with this recovery? Well, it's almost following that trend. So like I said, it was going to trade underneath 187 for a sec, and now it is passed right between it and the VWAP, almost according to plan. Basically, almost entirely according to plan here. AMC, of course, just sluggishly trading, consolidating sideways here. BG says, read the new SEC release. Where's our current resistance? Right here for GME, 195, for AMC, $10.35. Hold on. What is the Instagram handle that you sent it at? Because I need to know. I need to know. BG, how did you send it to me? Where did you send it on? Meatball's drinking water. I should too. Ooh. You need corporate access to Third Bridge website. I think so too. It says corporate access. Okay, I apologize. Straight up, I misread the thing. Well, we'll be able to cover it, identify it, understand it, but we're not gonna be able to listen to it live, unfortunately. I've heard it here. Oh no. Calculate SLR, just divide Tier 1 capital by a bank's assets. Tier 1 capital equals reserves, common equity, plus retained earnings and certain instruments with discretionary dividends and no maturity. Okay, so this is from 29 days ago. They were already predicting on the 31st there was going to be trillions added to the SLR calculation. So that the biggest forbearance measure was a move in by the Fed in May to exclude treasury bonds and central bank deposits from the leverage exposure measures. That wiped $2 trillion off the SLR denominator. Okay, so it decreased the denominator, so the SLR got bigger. Just one of the regulatory changes implemented by the Fed in response to the economic shutdowns would have reduced the denominator by $3 trillion for the largest banks. Without critical forbearance measures, some banks such as Citigroup would have been just 30 basis points away from the minimum, which would prompt the Fed to restrict their trading and lending activity. Oh. So Risky Finance took note that back in November, writing the regulatory capital has decreased by as much as $3. Hold on, guys. I'm going to explain this in ape speech in just a second. As much as $3 trillion for the largest banks due to Fed's forbearance measures in response to the virus outbreak. So back in May, they were nice to the banks by wiping off a bunch of the denominator for the calculation for SLR. And the calculation is the Tier 1 capital divided by the bank's assets. But they took a bunch off of the bank's assets. So the Tier 1 capital is reserves, common equity, plus retained earnings and certain instruments with discretionary dividends and no maturity. In the past, when the banking industry was much more competitive, it was common for banks to market themselves on their surplus in order to attract new customers. Changes to leverage ratio can lead to very large increases or decreases to a bank's ability to lend. To put that into perspective, the former vice chair of the Federal Deposit Insurance Committee, a corporation, FDIC, if share buybacks of $83 billion represents 72% of total payouts for the top 10 BHCs in 2017, were instead retained under capital rules, this could have increased small business loans by $750 billion or mortgage loans by almost $1.5 trillion. Okay, so how is this going to affect the stock market? Although it has had negative impact on the short term, the reemergence of lockdowns and resultant growth weakness could bolster the above equity above the medium to long term. This is not very ape speak, but right now this is trying to say that originally the ability for banks to do stuff on margin was increased because of the pandemic, right? They wanted the banks to have easier access to capital that didn't exist, or at the very least, like be able to attract customers based on a calculation that was just kind of like moving the goalpost, right? It's not actually changing much. It's kind of like just the government giving you a break. It's like a tax break, but a different kind of break. It's not a tax break. It's a break in the sense that we're going to change the calculation for the SLRs to make it more favorable for you, and now that's ending as of the 31st. The interim final rule is effective as of the date and will remain in effect through March 31st. So now it is over tomorrow. Okay. This is actually, I'm trying to make a 1-minute video right now. This is kind of complicated. You may say banks, okay, let me just read some of your questions here. Is Uncle Bruce eating a bagel right now? Seems on brand. Please speak Apanese. I'm coming to the Apanese part here. GME getting louder? Oh yeah, I hear it. This is the louder milk. GME is getting louder. Do you hear that volume? Oh, it's still under 8 million. It's still 8 million. That's still pretty bad. But what we can see here, as predicted, is going to bounce between these two levels. Likely going to be rejected at 195. I'm going to call it here because of how weak this impulse wave is here. So this impulse wave is weak AF. Just like the one from this morning. So we have this line almost perfectly. Can I copy and paste this? No, I cannot. I can barely move it. So we have this line basically perfectly, actually it's a little bit steeper than the line from this morning. However, this line is going to lead us, so this led us from $180 to $187, that's $7. This line is a little bit steeper. It might actually lead us all the way out of 195. Although at this rate, it's likely going to be rejected at 195 because it's already on its 4th subwave. Oh, coffee in the morning. Hector the roommate, the best friend. Oh, coffee in the morning. My stomach is a wreck. Those who know me know that I do not have a strong stomach. But I love coffee. I love coffee so much. Daniel Card says, I saw 190 resistance on my min chart and we broke it. Hopefully we can start using it as support and lead us all the way back to 200s again. Likely. But however, just note that this is going to be just one of the recovery patterns that we see from Elliott wave theory. It's pretty simple. Blake Buck says, once a certain threshold is reached, hedgies will not be able to be funding to cover because they have no lenders. If they don't have the tendies to pay the banks, they liquidate assets to pay them to get margin call. And that's a good point as well. So number one, I know long positions will be covered. I also believe that long positions, hold on, can you read that? Okay, good. Number one, I know that long positions will be covered, but I also believe that longs have been already pulling out of their positions to cover their short positions and will get back into a corner. We say that banks are already leveraged with SLR north of 6%. Most banks meet their SLR, but only with the exception in place. Pull that exception away and it falls 1 to 2 percentage points. So some, not all, are not even close to ready as discussed in articles above. How does this affect the market directly? Well, Chase Bank has already said it will have to seriously figure out what to do in the articles above. As I said, not every bank is below SLR, but quite a few are. Trying to infuse money back into the cushion, they may liquidate investor relation position. Okay, interesting. So they have to just basically get cash. They're like, oh shoot, our SLRs were high because the denominator decreased. SLR were high, but then their denominator decreased. This is actually pretty complicated. But the main point is that they need, in order to get the SLR back up, they need to sell, and they need to be able to have more liquid cash. And the types of liquid, to be able to understand this, you have to just connect like 50 different articles. But here is the definition of how to calculate SLR. So we have the calculation of how to calculate SLR, and we saw somewhere between $2 to $3 trillion wiped out from the denominator. And then some of these banks are not going to have enough money just lying around because SLR is required. SLR requires you to have reserves, common equity, plus retained earnings, and your stocks normally do not count. Why would hedge funds and investment firms not be prepared for this? Oh, give me a break to say this with pure sarcasm. Yeah, right. The banks and investment firms would never over-leverage their position in the name of greed and profit-taking, right? Wrong. This is Wall Street. What if the banks are already prepared? Maybe some are, but for sure some are not. Just like this article says. So we have Citibank and JP Morgan lead bank stocks lower that after Federal Reserve lets SLR temporary rule expire. They exempted Treasury deposits from the Fed, implemented blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's just do it. I think I'm ready. I just want to know the consequence of having your SLR be too low. I think that the consequence needs to be material in order to have your SLR be lower. Tier 1 leverage ratio. Is this the SLR? Hold on. Supplemental leverage ratio. Compares a bank's tier 1 capital to its total assets to evaluate how leveraged a bank is. I think this is the same as the supplemental leverage ratio. I'm not sure. Well, why does Investopedia not have a separate article for this? It is. It's the same. I did use my brain correctly. Okay, here we go. So, key takeaways. Here's what the actual like problems of having an SLR that's too low is. Hey, Real Mr. Miggs, can you explain what a wash trade is and why E-Trade is asking me to adjust my portfolio accordingly? It's about $3,000 difference in unrealized profit. A wash trade. Let's say this is the Investopedia answer because I've answered it before. However, people keep asking about it. Starting to see like a trend here. Wash trading is when a trader buys. Okay, so hold on. Huh? Wash trading is an illegal type of trading in which a broker and a trader collude to make profits by feeding misleading information to the market. This probably isn't what is going on with you. Probably the wash sale rule. Yes, it's a tax rule. So this is the one I've been explaining. Wash sale happens when an investor sells or trades a security at a loss and within 30 days buys another one that is substantially similar. It also happens if an individual sells the security at a loss and their spouse or company they control buys a substantially similar security. So basically, it prevents you from deducting capital loss on the sale. So let's say you paper-handed accidentally, right? Because you would never do it on purpose, and then you realized, oh shoot, I actually want to buy back in, you would lose that tax benefit. It's basically to prevent people, it's to punish people. God, this is a great 60-second video too. Okay, we'll do it right here with Real Mr. Miggs. I'm assuming you're talking about a wash sale, not a wash trade, because wash trading is illegal. Thanks for your work. This is the way. Money print go brr, brr, says Eduardo Dominguez. I appreciate that. And then Chris Marshall says, you were reading quickly, but I thought you said the mortgage lending will increase due to this rule? Hold on. I've been caught up with wash trading. let's focus on wash trading first, and then we'll go back to SLR.
Am I still holding AMC and GME? I just can't find or even define the sell button. So, wash trading. Did I talk about the Jordan Belfort tweet? Let's look at that real quick.
Oh man, what is this? What am I looking at here? This is the Wolf of Wall Street from a minute ago. And he says, kid is bright, hashtag the, and then future without a hashtag. Harris on Josie. Hey guys, I'm live on BitClout. This is my official account, bitclout.com. I would think BitClout is a fake company if I didn't see this tweet. This is Jordan Belfort tweeting a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio playing him. Get money, everyone. Rally. I hope they've got good lawyers on the Old Town Road. Just saying. I have a feeling that Jordan Belfort's going to need a lawyer soon if he keeps tweeting about the AMC shenanigans. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna take this, and then I'm gonna ask you once again to consider the subscribe button. And then we're going to pull this, oh, hold on. We're gonna pull this to my face area. Oh, whatcha? Whoa. Why don't I just freeze my face? Freeze my face. And then whatcha? Alright, real Mr. Miggs. First of all, does this answer your question? Really hope so. Someone asking, are WeBull and Robinhood down? No. They're currently up, with GameStop trading at 188 bucks right now. Okay, Meatball, you want to come over? Come on. Is today the day that FREQ recovers from 8 and returns to its mid-30s? Thanks again for all you do. Gorillas for Trey's swift recovery. Jeff Pew Pew, I'm going to add FREQ. Wow, Tesla is grinding. Holy moly. It's actually following my channel perfectly. It's as if straight lines predict stocks. So if you guys look at my Tesla channel that I drew earlier today, look at that. Perfect. Well, if this continues, you heard it here. Andrew More Money broke through the 620 pretty easily, so that's why I was worried when I drew this channel. I'm like, it's probably not going to break through the 620 here. So I'm going to keep drawing it out. Let's see if it continues. This is now a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 part subwave here, and I don't think this is indicative of a correction yet. I don't think there's a correction in line quite yet, so this is currently where we are going. To the moon. Real Mr. Mix is asking for Riot. Okay, Riot, you're coming after FREQ. FREQ and then Riot. As a reminder, Riot really just follows the ins and outs of Bitcoin and other blockchain. Bitcoin really recovered. Shoot, I would have made so much money if I moved my GUSD into Bitcoin. If only I had that opportunity, which I do every single day. $5,000 at least. Yo, what's going on? Daniel Lesage upgrading to the Moon Platoon. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, let's go straight up. This one first. Hey, this is a 60-second video about wash sales. Mr. Miggs asked, what is a wash sale? They're asking me to adjust my portfolio, and that's scary. Well, let's explain it in 60 seconds. Real quick, a Investopedia takes these three bullet points right here. However, the most important thing that you need to understand is if you accidentally paper-handed GME, let's say, and you sold at a loss, that could be deducted from your taxes as capital loss
on a sale. However, if you then go out in 30 days and buy back the similar size of GME, you're likely going to lose that tax benefit. That's all that eToro is asking for, eTrade is asking for. If you have any other questions, go ahead and join me on live streams. We go bell to bell covering technical indicators and technical analysis of your favorite stocks, and it's entirely free, as well as the like and the subscribe button, as well as the bell button if you guys want to slam it, and make sure that you continue learning with us. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you in the money. Look at DFE's new tweet, sure. I'm basically DFE's PR person at this rate. Let's see. She says, no way. This is earnings season, the season of perpetual hope. I don't care if you have to get out on your runway and it cost me everything I own. I have to sell my lost prawn as an NFT. I'm gonna get back to my cost basis. Ma'am, if there's anything at all I could do for you today, do it. Do anything. I could get you a hotel room. What? Excuse me. Can you excuse us for a sec? You guys are probably wondering why I'm reading it out loud instead of just playing it. It's because this is 100% copyrighted audio, so I definitely can't read it. But an hour ago, we have Brad Pitt. I'm not sure what movie this is from. Looks like Brad Pitt. Kittens in a basket. Roaring Kitty's Twitter account is one of the most insane experiences in this part of reality. It goes on. It's a whole 2 minutes. If I wanted to get demonetized, I would play it, but I don't. I don't want to get shadow banned. That's even worse than getting demonetized, is getting shadow banned. And then none of you will be able to see these videos anymore. Okay, so back to tier 1 leverage ratio. So tier 1 leverage ratio. Let's go ahead and take a quick snip. But we have to explain it in 60 seconds. So let's get rid of that. I realize nobody's asking about SLR, but I care. Doesn't it matter that I care? Speaking of I care, Gorilla's in the chat for Trey. Remember, our gorilla brethren will see out of both of his eyes soon. Ocean's 11, thank you. Brayden says, why would banks margin call the hedge funds aren't going to able to be covered and the banks will be left holding the liability? They get margin called before they... This is what the DTCC is trying to do, is to make sure that 1, they definitely get margin called before they get even close. 2, even if you can't pay for it, your friends in the cartel that we call the DTCC is going to have to pay for it. And haven't you paid attention to the 60-second videos that we've been making? No, I'm just kidding. So yes, that's a good question actually. I might make a video about that. Braden P. I might make a video about exactly that. It's a good question. GME meeting. What GME meeting? The one in Power Hour today? We already said that this is a corporate only, so we aren't going to be able to figure that out. Oh, Meatball's treats got pushed onto the floor? Is that true? Did you push? No, I don't see any. But I will give him some treats. If you guys haven't checked out that P.O. box yet, this was a way that we were able to get a handcrafted bowl for Meatball from... Do I have their stickers here still? Yes, 2 dogs and a bottle of whiskey. Go check them out on Instagram. 2 dogs and a bottle of whiskey. Thank you for giving Meatball a custom-made bowl. All Boogie says... Andrew, I don't understand this banking thing. If banks forge hedge funds to liquidate to pay debts, that doesn't mean they have to buy back shorts shares, right? No, that's the debt. That's a good question. I'm surprised that we need to cover these points, but I will happily cover them. The debt is the short. They're short. They don't owe any money. They only owe shorts. They only owe shares. Because they borrowed them. It's the opposite of you owing money for your student loans or your mortgage, right? They have to give back those shorts
And the only way that they can cover those shorts is with, you guessed it, money. They have to buy those shares back because they don't own them. Percy, oh, thank you so much for joining the Mo Monkey gang. I appreciate that. Just pressing that join button down below. What's my favorite D&D class and race combo? Variant Human. Oh, Variant Human Sorcerer Warlock. Almost said Artificer Wizard. That's my second favorite. Ryan Zadie, we already covered DFE's tweet. It was fun. It was a fun one. Okay, so this is my SLR video. And then I need to make I have a bunch of 1 minute videos coming up soon. But you know what? This will be good because I don't have to release them all today. So if any day I'll actually want a vacation. I haven't taken a vacation in weeks. Basically for 4 months I've been streaming 9 hours a day. But Mr. Boogie, you're coming up in a second. These are all questions that I will be answering briefly soon. Moses says, "Keep watching." Keep watching the GIF. Okay, remember I can't play the audio. Now, everyone who wants to watch that GIF can, but I can't play the audio, unfortunately. Ooh, Rowan Kitty released a YouTube video. Let me check. Roaring Kitty. Oh, this is the same video. It's the same video as the tweet, if you were curious. It's from this movie where they can't get out of a layover. Dree Torres, thank you for joining the Mo Monkey gang. It's because you pressed that join button down below. Very cool. People are saying that Variant Human is OP. It is. Honestly, should be outlawed, but then I can't build my broken builds. So, Andrew, thoughts on options activity? How does this compare to others? Sure, let's do that real quick. We were trying to build some SLR knowledge here. So this is the options chain from yesterday. Whoa. No, this is the same 2 million from before. So the same $2 million of $200 strikes are still here, but there is starting to gather a $500,000 at 300. So if someone really wants GME to roll up to 300 soon. And this is very exciting because remember, buying far out of the money calls is a way to lose money. However, GameStop might be rolling past 250 soon, based on this gamma ramp here. So at the same time, it's kind of like sacrificing your premiums, paying the hedge funds, obviously. But at the same time, if your bet is correct, this is a way for us to catalyze the gamma squeeze. Gunid is like SLR? Yes, we have to get through that SLR video. So once again, as a reminder, we have FREQ and then we have Riot on deck. Wait, did you say that FREQ is going back to 70 bucks? One sec. Okay, SLR right after this. I can't create this, I can't keep this huge backlog here. Okay, so people are asking, is today the day FREQ goes back to 30 bucks? I don't think so. Because of this? Because of a 3% rip? Q4 reports immense Q4 losses, lags revenue estimates. Okay, so the fundamentals aren't there. Do they have a new vaccine? No. Okay, well, pure and simple, FREQ has been trading sideways, basically, consolidating at this rock bottom. If you want to buy in, it likely can't go any lower. So if you want to buy in, this entry point is as good as this entry point, which is this $2 difference. At the end of the day, if you wanted to see this go back, you're likely going to have to get a better earnings report because it missed its Q4 earnings report. So FREQ, not my cup of tea for now. However, if you are thinking of risk reward, the risk is basically non-existent. As soon as I take a vacay, GME and AMC will squeeze. Literally, that's what I was like this morning. I'm like, okay, I'm taking an hour to do some extra work. I gotta catch up on for my full-time job, and then legit, a GME gets to 200, and I'm like, really could have been there this morning. Really could have been there. John Diamond says everyone knows AMC is not a squeeze play. It's a potential recovery playback. Disagree. But we can agree to disagree. Let's go back to the FINRA report. So we have that FINRA report come out with AMC's short interest declining. Oh, they are now showing their short interest instead of a percent, instead of a short percent, an actual number here. Okay, so this is new. So 49 million here. Hopefully you're not gonna make me do my own math here. Fundamentals, percent short interest. So okay, so you can still look at it here. Hold on. I need to go out, I think. Monthly percent short interest. Oh, it's just not even displaying it anymore. Huh. 3 months? There we go. Okay, 11.02. So on the 3 month chart for FINRA, 11.02 is the short interest here. So what is that? March 25th, as of March 25th, right? So we have 11.02 here. And does it get any clearer here? Well, somewhere between 11.02 and 15. So it's still above 10. So the squeeze play was updated on S3 from like 10 out of 10 to like 2.5 out of 10. AMC is not a dead cat, ladies and gentlemen. We're paying attention close to it. I'm invested in both, and AMC is not a dead cat. Putting it right out there. This is still roughly the same amount, even if the FINRA calculation is grossly wrong, which we've already seen some TD that it says it is. But let's say that it's right? Let's say that FINRA is at 11.02, and that's exactly what the short interest is. That was what Volkswagen needed to squeeze, right? The conditions are different, but that is one of the indicators that is not bearish on AMC. Paladin Warlock multi-class. The problem with that is you need 3 levels of Warlock in order to get Pact of the Blade. And so you can't wield dual-handed weapons. There's good synergies though, but if you wanted Hex, you could just get Hunter's Mark from the Oath of Conquest, I think. No, the Oath of... Shoot, I can't remember. Let's see. We already talked about AMC's CEO versus the other leadership on GME, so we covered that earlier, so no need to talk about that. Remember, apes don't fight apes, guys. Apes do not fight apes. Apes know no fight. Oh, Uncle Bruce finished earlier, so if you guys are coming from Uncle Bruce, throw some bagels in the chat. Can you guys throw bagels? Bagel. Yes, throw bagels in the chat if you're from Uncle Bruce. Honestly, this is why I follow you, because you actually look at the ... Like, finally someone looking into logic as well as affects us, or majority of us anyways. What do I know? D-Moons, we got you here. The Rune Knight is exceptional. Hands down, there is no other fighter other than Rune Knight. Did anyone actually read the captions on the DFV video? Read the whole chat, read the whole video properly. Oh my goodness. Okay, you know what? We will. How about this? No, I can't afford being shadow banned. Like, I don't mind being demonetized, but being shadow banned is the problem. If you play copyrighted audio on YouTube, they will shadow ban you, and that's not good. Bagel. I don't know why these bagels are getting hidden. Bagel, bagel, bagel. We got Mezzy Kitchen. Mezzy Kitchen, is that... Did you do that on purpose? That's really funny. Big Fat Mamba, Harry Bergman, Max Cantulima. We got MAS Slots. We got JR. We got HT Longale. Bagel friends, as a helpful tip, if Bruce ever finishes, just tell everyone to come on over, right? He takes this round, and I'll take the next round. Easy peasy, right? YouTubers helping YouTubers. The video words are huge. Okay, fine. We will... We're going to do SLR after this, all right? We're going to do SLR video after this. We also have a couple of other minute-long videos that I need to make, but we are going to go through that video one at a time. You guys are really excited about this video. I'm going to do it on Twitter. So tweet. Roaring Kitty. Okay, I'm gonna voice the entire scene though. So you guys are gonna have to hear that. All right, that's the deal. I get to voice the entire scene. Okay, here we go. Oh, Andre Jorge says, cost you nothing to press that like while Andrew is spewing info for free. Boom. Mezzy Kitchen says, kitchen restaurant in London. Go check it out. If you live in London, check out the Mezzy Kitchen. Okay, so no audio. Here we go. I'm going to voice the entire thing. Hey guys, if you guys have not yet seen that DFV tweet, we're just going to watch it right here, but I have to voice everything because copyrighted audio. Here we go. This is from the movie... the layover, I'm assuming. The holiday layover. I don't know. I've watched this before, and I can't remember. No way. This is earnings season. The season of perpetual hope. Ma'am, I don't care if I have to get out your runway and hitchhike. It costs me everything I own. If I have to sell my lost prawn as an NFT. Okay. So, as we see, we had the real Ryan Cohen in that scene and the real Keith Gill in that scene. That's amazing. Holy moly. Well, I'm sorry for that mediocre voice acting. Oh, is that Home Alone? What is this? Home Alone 3? This is Home Alone? Food Platoon. Oh, Food Platoon. What's going on here? It's Reese Beats. I'm using my other YouTube channel. I'm launching my food reveal channel on this account. What's up, kid? Let's get some rockets and meatballs in the chat. Reese Beats has been one of the best supporters of the show. You got to get the Food Platoon channel here. Let me see if I can find you. I found you. It's about eating. And actually, is this your channel? This is a channel entirely in like Hindi. I don't think this is your channel. Reese, if you want to send me your channel link, happy to put it in my description. Happy to do that. That was pretty good. Let's see. Netflix documentary, cancel the auditions. We found our guy. Boy, oh boy. Okay, well, as we saw, that is what's happening. We're returning to our cost basis, right? We're going with a bunch of apes. We're popular in Sheboygan. There you go. This is Home Alone 1? Really? Man, I haven't watched that movie in a long time. Real Mr. Miggs, voice over practice for the upcoming GME anime movie. Awesome, love this channel. Boy, oh boy, can I not wait for Trace and I to have an anime duo. That would be really cool. Oh man, who's gonna be the like JoJo and who's gonna be the Dio is the question. Because, you know, I could see it both ways. Let us know what our anime personas are, if you guys have any ideas in the chat. Alright, so back to understanding what the heck SLR is tomorrow. So, tier 1 leverage ratio. Let's just read in stupid ape language. Updated the 23rd of 2021. Feels like someone just updated it early for this particular specific reason because it's updating tomorrow. Mizzy Kitchen says, if anybody mentions Andrew Mo Money, they're willing to give a 50% discount. What? 50%? Jeez, support your local restaurants. Doesn't even matter if you don't live in London, okay? When I come to London, I'm 100% going to Mezzy Kitchen. That is a guarantee. Dang. That's so cool. Okay, now back to D&D talk. Oh no. Sanguine, what happened? Sanguine, no, we're still good. Flight's not canceled, Sanguine. We're gonna get on a truck. We're gonna drive. We're driving all the way back. Oh, man. Okay. No, it's definitely a positive indicator. It's that we're not going to be able to squeeze based on normal, like the flights, you know, like a normal like commercial way. We're gonna have to drive all the way there, which is fine. We like hanging out with a bunch of apes anyway. Okay, so where can we catch the GME meeting today? Unfortunately, that is for commercial accounts only. And I do not have one, so unfortunately we are not going to be able to watch it live. However, we are going to be able to catch tailwind of it very quickly. So either way, we'll be able to report on it, even if we cannot catch it live. So, Tier 1 leverage ratio. This is also known as the SLR, supplemental leverage ratio. No way, Jason. Is that true? Someone else confirm. Jason McKinney. I don't believe Matt would say that. Although Matt does ignore me when I show up to his live streams. I guess there's the slow chat is on. Jamin Blue. Reddit says call later today is actually private. Is this true? Is the call still gonna happen public? No, it's likely gonna be private. We tried to find it. If someone else can prove me wrong, I would be happy to. But unfortunately, the call is going to be private, so I cannot display a private call. Love from Puerto Rico, says Fernando Hernandez. Holding strong, love your content, Andrew. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Now I will. I wasn't thinking about it, but now I will. Champion Review says, can you explain what he means by cost basis? Cost basis is just generally the idea of how much money you spent. You can average up, you can average down, but on average based on the cost of GME. For example, my cost basis is bad. My cost is much higher than the price of GME right now. So if I were to sell all of my shares right now, I would just have a way worse. I would sell at a loss. And we just talked about the wash rule, right? You don't want to sell at a loss and then go back in. So it's to penalize you for thinking that selling at a loss is a good idea. Because the government doesn't want you to sell at a loss. That's how these financial crises happen. Am I a JoJo or a Dio? That's a really good question. Boy, do I love the Dio memes, though. I love the memes. Meatball, are you chilling over there? Oh, what are you like, huh? I look up. I'm right here at the corner of the screen. Here's a treat for you, bud. Yummy, yummy. Shame on Andrew for not knowing the Home Alone. Seriously, I'm trying to catch up to old movies. I'm trying to catch up to the classics. I've watched it before. I haven't yet. Did Kitty say we're driving to the moon instead of flying? We are. 100% are. 100% are. Okay, so Tier 1 leverage ratio. What is the Tier 1 leverage ratio? It is the bank's core capital relative to its total assets. The ratio basically looks at Tier 1 capital to judge how leveraged a bank is based on its assets. Tier 1 capital are those assets that can be easily liquidated if a bank needs capital in the event of a financial crisis. Basically, it's just how much of your money is actually money. How much of your assets actually is money that can turn into actual money real quick. Because this is important if, one, you end up having to pay it all back real quick because you've, shorted a stock to oblivion and now are on the precipice of a financial crisis, right? So this is for the Melvins of the world, right? You need to have a very high SLR. Right now, I believe the ratio is hovering around like a 6%. It's kind of complicated to understand this all, but $3 trillion. So it eliminates treasury bonds and central bank deposits from the leverage exposure measure. So that is going to wipe out trillions of dollars from the denominator. Okay, let's take out the whiteboard to explain this. We have the whiteboard now. One sec. Okay, so we have this whiteboard. 4,000 of you, and not quite 4,000 likes. I would appreciate smashing that like button. I really would. It would make me super happy. Helps the algorithm, and it helps Mr. Eric Andres buy more AMC. That we can get up to 5K. Hey, HT Longgale, thanks for joining the Moon Platoon. I appreciate it. No. Let's see. Oof. Chart looking like a nice George W. Ooh, look at that W right there. So I would say that W doesn't test the same support. There's a descending level of support here. This is unfortunately likely to be a corrective wave, but that does mean that we could be on the verge of another impulse wave. If it's anything like the one we saw earlier today, we could be rising another $10 from our position where we are. So we have normal money, right? So this is your tier one. Actually, can you even see any of that? You can see it, but it's like upside down, right? It's really hard to see. I need new markers. Real normal money over all assets. So I guess this is your house. It's like stocks. Let's call this like, I don't know, stonks and other stuff. Bonds. Actually, do bonds exist in this one or the other one? So that SLR restriction took out treasury bonds and central bank deposits. So we got central bank deposits. Okay. So tier one, yeah, it's really hard to see, but you guys can see. I'm just going to show it like this. Ensure that banks have enough liquidity on hand. A ratio above 5% is deemed to be an indicator of strong financial footing for a bank. So we're going to cover this real quick. Hey you guys, the SLR exemption rule is coming to an end on March 31st. And what does that mean? Well, I'm going to take 60 seconds to explain it for you. The only thing you have to do is smash that like button so that more spoon... More spoon platoon apes. Okay, let me try again. Hey guys, the SLR rule, the supplementary leverage ratio. Shoot. I really got the spoon platoon. We really need some. We need some spoon platoon fan art now. Hey Moon Platoon, well, I'm going to take 60 seconds to explain what does the expiring exemption on the SLR rule mean, right? The supplementary leverage ratio, also known as the tier 1 leverage ratio. We're going to explain it with this whiteboard all in 60 seconds. So you guys can see here that this ratio is really just about how much money, how much liquid assets does a hedge fund or another institution have. For example, we have this number here and everything else. A less liquid stuff like bonds and your real estate and your assets, stocks, and your central bank deposits. All of this, specifically bonds and central bank deposits, they were struck out of the denominator for the months of May from last year to March 31st. Why was that happening? Well, that was because the government wanted to give the banks more of a higher SLR, right? If we decrease the denominator, we get a higher SLR. Look at this third bullet point right here in the key takeaways. A ratio above 5% is deemed to be an indicator of strong financial footing. So in order to seem like the banks still had strong financial footing, they made the denominator smaller. This knocked off trillions of dollars, but they're all going to come back on March 31st. And in that case, they're going to have a bigger one of these. Maybe they're going to have to sell. Maybe they're going to be at such high risk, they're going to have to cover their shorts. So whether all of this is a conspiracy or actual data, you're going to have to find out by smashing that like button, smashing that subscribe button, checking out the links down below to support the show, especially the 2 free stocks if you go and get your WeBull downloaded for free. And I will see you in the money. Okay, so this is the small version of this video, and then I'm going to go to a bigger version. You guys can tell that I'm not very good at figuring out inverse because the camera is currently inverse to me. Spoons in the chat. We spoon platoon, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard it here. We've created something beautiful. It's the spoon platoon. Oh man. Okay. Meatball, you okay? Yeah. Okay, so. Hey guys, we just explained this in 60 seconds, right? We have the tier 1 leverage ratio. Its exemption rule was temporary, knocked off a bunch of the denominator, made this number seem bigger, but now they're gonna get smaller. And as that third bullet point says right here in the key takeaways, the ratio needs to be above 5%, or it's pretty a loosey-goosey, but most importantly, around 5 to 6% is an indicator of strong financial footing. We already see some banks taking action as of right now, because the only way to increase this ratio when the denominator is going to get bigger is to get more cash, is to get more liquidity on hand. And what does that mean for AMC and GME, as well as the ongoing market debacle, the crisis that is happening right before our eyes? Let's find out together. The only thing I ask is you guys go and watch this video all the way to the end and smash that like button early and often so that we can defeat the evil YouTube algorithm and get this video out to as many Moon Platoon apes as possible. So let's first check out this article. Citigroup and JP Morgan led bank stocks lower after Federal Reserve lets SLR temporary rule expire. This was from 10 days ago. However, this is already banks preparing for this temporary rule to expire. This was originally implemented for the pandemic to be able to get better banking to become a little more risky, take out a couple more loans, right? Be a friendly neighbor when it came to the pandemic, pushing everybody down and making it harder and harder to find a good bank. But now this is going to expire. They think the pandemic is going to ease up and it's time for the big money to stop trickling down into people who actually need it and start, it's essentially like a break from the government, right? This break was to help with the pandemic, and hopefully the banks would pass on the goodwill. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but now that's over. No more breaks from the government, and unfortunately there is going to be some important fallback from that. There is a temporary rule, let's explain it one more time, that allowed banks to exempt treasuries and deposits at the Fed from the SLR. This was implemented as an emergency measure to give the financial institutions flexibility to provide credit to households and businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic, right? You essentially loosen the purse strings a little bit when you go through a tough time, like you crack open the piggy bank. Usually it's for the swear jar, but now it's the rainy day that we've been saving for. So that is what the temporary rule, SLR rule was. Now it's coming to an end. While some analysts expected forced selling of positions, remember we needed that dollar sign in the numerator to get higher, tighter swap spreads and higher repurchase rates, Credit Suisse analyst Zoltan Pozsar does not expect a dramatic effect from the expiration because it didn't have a major impact to start with. The change won't lead to forced sales, neither will it cause a constraint on the functioning of the treasury repo market, says this one analyst from Credit Suisse. As a reminder, since the time that this was written, Credit Suisse had liquidated one of its hedge funds. So as of right now, Credit Suisse also under some pretty tight scrutiny. Overall, he doesn't see any restraints driving forces selling by holding companies, he wrote. Earlier this month, Goldman analyst Richard Ramsden said the expiration would require the biggest banks to issue preferred equity, turn away deposits, or send capital downstream to bank subsidiaries, reducing the amount of capital that would go to the shareholders. Morgan Stanley strategists expect similar actions in response to the expiration. Essentially, they need more money, and in order for that ratio to stay high, remember that 5 to 6% range, they need to essentially take their positions and get out. Right? Exit their positions, which we've already talked about, is likely going to cause some stocks to tumble. He estimated that Bank of America already down 2.3%, Citigroup down 1.29%, and JP Morgan Chase down 2.4% would end the year below SLR minimum requirements. Remember that this is likely going to cause either huge ripples through those banks in particular if they don't exit their positions and get their SLR higher, or it's going to cause even bigger ripples if they do sell, coerced selling essentially, their positions and get more money for their SLR, but then at the same time tank a couple of stocks on the way. Still, that doesn't mean that there won't be any effect. Ahead of the Fed's announcement, holdings at the primary dealers dropped by a record $64.7 billion to $185 $1.8 billion in the week through March 3rd, bringing them to the lowest level since 2018, Bloomberg reported on Wednesday. Go check out this Seeking Alpha article. I'm going to include it in the description so you guys can make sure that we are journalists trying to bring together the news for you, but we also want you guys to show some love to the sources. Speaking of which, let me see right here. Boom. So trillions to be added to the SLR calculation. This is from a Reddit user, oh, deleted. Okay, from 29 days ago. However, this is one of the comprehensive understandings of what the SLR rule is likely to do, right? It's said here, oh, this is also just recognizing that article here. So I wanted to point out, where's my other one? Well, the main point is I'm also going to include this Investopedia article here about what the tier 1 leverage ratio is, right? It doesn't have to be just cash. The tier 1 types of assets here can be any kind of assets that are liquid enough, right? That essentially you can turn into actual cash, into actual proper liquidity if there was a financial crisis that you need to cover. Right? Some of these banks are likely going to be involved in the oncoming financial crises, either caused by or triggering the GME and AMC squeeze. So I want to be able to fully ask you guys, what do you think? Because now that we've covered a couple of the truths of the world, the rest, the forecasting, the speculation is next. So I want you guys to be able to fully listen up and do your own research. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor or a legal advisor, so the most important piece of your financial education is by you. And if you guys can go out and take a quick look at that Investopedia article, show the sources some love as always, I would appreciate it if you also could show this video some love, smash that like button, join the Moon Platoon by pressing that subscribe button or the join button next to that subscribe button, and join one of these people right here, right there, or right there. You can also do it through Patreon. So again, thank you for supporting the show, and I will see you in the money. What's going on? Almost 5,000 of you, and not quite 5,000 likes. We got to get that numerator up here, because we have Eric Andres guaranteeing earlier on in his live stream that he's going to buy another 20 shares of AMC if we can get this up to 5K likes. I think we can. Let's drop some likes in there. Okie dokie, dokie dokie dokie. So we saw GME get supported by this 187. This likely is the start of a beautiful impulse. There is a bit of a head and shoulders pattern appearing here, which is not good. That's not what we want to see. And likely that's because we have topped out at the VWAP twice now. Once, and this is the second time. If the VWAP constrains us and rejects us here, we will know it as a downtrend from the MACD here. We'll likely see the MACD cross into the signal line, and it will be very obvious. However, if the MACD continues a sharp divergence away from the signal line, we will likely see this to begin a 5 to 7 part subwave up to 195, contesting 195. I'm imagining that it's going to struggle, or at the very least it might push through and try and reach its heights at a 200. Remember the options chain, guys. Here we have just major calls at $200, so let's try to get those in the money, because that is going to be able to snowball us over. And if it does get into the money, remember, you don't even have to exercise them for the hedge funds and institutions to delta hedge against you. Delta hedging is the point of the game here. Ryan Zadie, I got you, man. Show that hot options chart. Jacob Probasco. Oh no, I destroyed the like button. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's okay. So I'm gonna do a little bit more research. What language is that? Looking through the chat right now. Oh, Matt finished. Okay, well, if you're from the Duck Platoon, if you're from the Moon Gang, drop some ducks in the chat. Didn't realize that Matt already finished. Well, how's it going, guys? I'm the YouTuber standing, still talking about a GME and AMC world, and that is fine to me. That's what I like. That's what I'm here for. Spoons in the chat. Honestly, that is my new emoji. Spoons in the chat. Seriously. Cat, I am sorry for asking. I just create these snippets so I don't ask as if like just to specifically annoy you. But one of the things you have to note is let's do a quick understanding of why I ask for likes and subscribes. There's 30,000 playbacks here, so probably unique viewers about like 20,000. So it's currently there's only 5,000 of you here, but the rolling churn of people watching this video is likely going to be a completely brand new like macro scale group of people every 5 minutes. So that is one of the reasons why you would want to. However, the reason why I do is because I clip these later and then give it to busy Mo Monkeys and Moon Platoon members that cannot watch these videos. So that's why they serve a purpose within the context of that video, not this live stream. So if that gives you a little bit of context, I'm not asking you as a member of the live stream to like and subscribe unless you already have. Unless you haven't, but I am creating that so that people can get that message when they watch the future video. Hopefully give you a little bit more context. Also, the reason why I ask is because otherwise the algorithm is just going to bury this video, right? As of right now, people I've already said, they don't hear the specific notifications. Sometimes I get shadow banned. It's really hard to be able to balance just enough. But if you think it's too much, I will dial it back. I appreciate it. Appreciate that that constructive criticism. Oh boy, bagels all day. We're really dropping some fat emojis in the chat right now. I appreciate it. Ducks and chairs. The cheat code view. I woke up early and I still haven't watched the video of setting up the cheat code view. I really need to do it by tomorrow. I am going to take some time today to set that up, and then I will have set it up. So after that. Let's see. New Roaring Kitty YouTube video. I voiced the entire video for you guys, so you're welcome. I'm probably not going to clip it, but if you guys want to go watch it, it's early on the live stream. Voiced by me. More for entertainment, honestly. So we talked about the NSCC 004 earlier today. El Randall dropping the fat support here. Some fat donos here. I appreciate that. He says, or she says, why are people not buying buy calls? Why are people saying not buy calls? Apes, you can still make money while still keeping pressure on the price holdings calls. Roll that profit into further out of the money calls. Give my boy a treat. Hashtag Meatball Mafia. Calls can be converted is the issue. Even near the money calls can be converted, and out of the money calls ultimately just give statistically money to the hedge funds and the institutions that make money off of the premiums. So there we go. Central hard worker. So that's the reason why. Right? There's obviously arguments for both sides. Hey Andrew, I just tuned in. Sorry if you covered it. I see references of March 31st and April 1st for AMC. Any reason why or your opinion? Well, March 31st is the end of the quarter, so that's something to think about. Is there another reason? Well, we talked about the SLR temporary restriction, temporary rule getting expiring, which we just covered an entire huge portion of. In essence, some banks might have to sell some stocks or sell some positions in order to get more money because they need the liquidity to get higher. Their denominator for this ratio is getting higher, so they need their numerator to get up high as well. That's the that is what is
That's the main point here. Okay, so I'm looking at here. Negative beta against Dow Jones indicates connection between Archegos and GameStop. Remember, beta is not a great indication because of all the outliers. Okay, so ten important historical days that are breadcrumbs leading to the squeeze. Now that's kind of interesting. I kind of like that. 10 important days. Oh, these are already days that have already occurred. Okay. So these are already days that already occurred, but too long didn't read. Time is running out. $183 area is the critical area that needs to be broken with momentum. Well, that would have been a nice impulse, but we try to contest the VWAP again, rejected a second time. So now we're trading underneath the VWAP, and let's see if we get supported by the 188. Oof. Ryan80 says, hey, regarding the option calls, GME already went past $200, so why do $200 calls still matter? So here is the reason why. Let's say that, hold on, where did my options list go? So let's say the delta hedging for the stock in question, no one really knows the, the secret sauce that goes behind how much delta hedging needs to happen. But when a stock rises and falls, the hedge funds that have sold those contracts know that a certain of you are not going to exercise them, so they're going to factor that into the calculation. But they also are going to sell when the price of the stock goes down to keep themselves neutral, delta neutral, right? So they don't want to be able to lose out on money. So $200 is this ramp up to greater heights here, right? Because at this point, you're likely going to have to see even more buying. So the question is, have the hedge funds already hedged for 200? Likely when GME crossed 200. However, as it now hovers down below and IV decreases, it is less and less likely that it crosses over 200. They're going to sell, right? They're going to sell their positions even though they had them originally. Ooh, hey, is the market closed on Friday since Easter coming up? That would make tomorrow most significant. I believe Good Friday does not have the markets open, but someone tell me. Good Friday markets closed. Yes. Oh wait, banks are open, stock market closed. So, yeah. Banks are gonna be, yeah, so tomorrow and the next day are the last days of this market. What are they looking at just now? I will explain why hedges continue to get margin call. Oh yeah, this is the SLR thing. Oh, I freaking was looking for this a second ago. Okay, so 10 important historical dates. So that's something that we can talk about in a second. Spoon Platoon. Nathan Adams says, my Sensionic scalping is finally green. Congratulations. Oh, okay, so GameStop actually did get supported at 188. It's almost as if we can predict these things. Retesting the VWAP again. Unfortunately, with so little volume, it's not likely that they're going to be able to. But if they do, then we should be in for a pretty steep impulse wave if we can get rejected a little higher than the VWAP, we should be able to see a meaty impulse wave. If this is one of the subwaves leading us up from 188 to 190, we should be able to see another rise of at least $8, bringing us up to 198, and then maybe the delta hedging will take over. Actually, I have mods, so I don't time out people myself. What does that mean for options expiring? Well, since you can't trade on Friday, even if the expiry date is still on Friday, it means that you're going to have to take care of the Thursday close date. The close price on Thursday is going to be most important. Ryan Zaidi says, great explanation, thank you. How can we access the options chart daily? I've talked about this before. This is the option sonar, and you guys can access as well. It does require a membership for more data, but in that sense, you know, data is king for that reason. Zeph TV says, sorry, I just made it in. What's the feel on AMC today? Very consolidative, but how are we expecting a push? Yeah, sideways trading. Let's actually figure it out. Why sideways trading is what we want, right? So AMC trading sideways super hard right now. What I'm going to do is I am going to take an actual... Andrew is becoming Neo. I can see. I am going to take a quick 10-second break, real actual 10-second break, and then I'll be back. And please enjoy the comedy stylings of Meatball and Chair. Why is ASO so heavily shorted when they're doing so good? Andrew Harper, we're going to have ASO on deck. I'll do my riot in just a sec. So ASO, you're on deck. How's Meatball doing? How are you doing, bud? You okay? He's not done with his surgery shenanigans yet, so that's on the woodwork. But I will be back soon. Check in a sec. Okay, I got this Frappuccino, and I got this cold brew here. Welcome to Mukbang with Andrew. 4,400 of you in here. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for mods for continuing to keep the chat civil. Team Meatball. Aw, Team Meatball. 2,000 likes. Hey, that's what we're talking about. Getting close to that 5K here. Come on, let's go. So I'm going to do some mixology here. I'm going to do like 20% of this. It's because I don't have a sweet tooth, and this is really sweet, and I'm just really looking for the caffeine. I'm like Graham Stephan if I paid for my cold brew. Graham Stephan if he paid for cold brew instead of just willing it into existence. Oh man.
Illegal Monkey says, sending me plastic bags and bottles so I have never to leave my chair again. Amazon style, heck yeah. Guys, remember, the P.O. box is down below if you guys want to send something. Send some meatball treats for Meatball and maybe some bananas or... I don't know. I have no idea. Meatball just said GME. Y'all missed it. What? You did? You've been saying GME this whole... You can speak this whole time? Alright, let's go. Let's see. People are like, get water too. Hey, gorillas don't drink water. Just kidding. I have, here's my water. So I have 2 of them. Agua. Olive's like, just take Adderall. I think I would have been super addicted to Adderall as a kid. Not as a kid, as a high schooler, but I didn't ever take it. And I don't know what it feels like. It probably feels very productive when I love being productive. Okay. Hey, sideways trading, right? We've been seeing a lot of it so far, but could it actually be a good thing? We've been seeing it on AMC and GME for a while now, right? GME a little less so because it's a little more volatile. Thank you, B, for the super. I'll check it in a sec. You guys noticed that AMC may have had a bit of a beautiful corrective wave here, unfortunately. However, when it bounced back, it is now just going in and out of this pretty boring, pretty volumeless consolidation and sideways trading. What does this all mean? Well, let us take Whiskiz, W-H-I-S-K-I-Z, as an example. This is going to be sourced right down below if you want to read along with us and give this source some love. Someone asked why staying delta neutral is better than just good old-fashioned stock value going up. To that I say, in a normal world, stock value is just going up makes sense, but this shady, loophole-filled, corrupted, opaque, bought and paid for free market with the government body charged with looking over it, apparently is a revolving door for people having been in or heading for the financial industry, and so partners in crime that have been turning a major blind eye for a long time now, which allowed this whole situation to happen in the first place. Normal rules don't apply. And if that sentence was the longest sentence that I can imagine, I think you can also imagine smashing that like button will be able to get this word out to more Moon Platoon apes, as well as subscribing and hitting that bell button to start investing in your financial journey. So let's go. The rules here are that the short hedge funds get to dictate what happens to the price. They allow it to naturally rise a certain amount and then make money off their call options and then tank the price via extra naked shorting, ETF shorting, and wash trading. Oh, hey, we actually talked about wash sales, but wash trading? Well, this is an illegal type of trading where the broker and trader collude to make profits by feeding misleading information to the market, and high frequency trading firms and cryptocurrency exchanges use wash trading to manipulate prices, right? We're going to understand this in just a bit, but let's go back to that question here. Once more, I am going to be able to do some whiteboarding here. This is for the SLR rule. And we're going to be able to answer the question of exactly how do hedge funds make money off of volatility. Let's do it real quick. Let's say that the price of GameStop, I'm going to try to draw backwards here because I know it's inverse. Let's say that the price of GameStop is trading up, and then it goes down, right? We can imagine that this is likely going to be manipulation here, right? And let's assume for the purpose of this argument that this is manipulation. The point of manipulating it here is that you have now been able to short it here, sell it without owning it, and then you can buy it back whenever. This could have even been a naked short, which means that you didn't even have to find someone to borrow it from. You could just straight up buy it from the cloud. Not buy, but borrow it from the cloud and then sell it immediately, make profit here, and taking advantage of the volatility of GME, then be able to sell buy it back here at a lower price and fulfill that the cycle of a short. Seems manipulative, huh? Especially when people's livelihoods are on the line. Well, that is one of the ways that trading sideways allows us to avoid that shenanigan, right? If the stock cannot have any deltas up or down, or any major like actual recognizable volatility, that actually could help us out a good amount. Then when the price is tanked, they make money off of their put options and then allow the price to naturally rise again to a certain point, make money off of their call option and then tank it again, make money off of their put options and then let it rise again. This is market manipulation. It forces profits off of their hedging to try and generate some extra liquidity to help stall things out. Now, once again, is this their extra secret evil plan? Actually, no, this is more like, I don't know, this is like freelancing, right? This is like Uber driving for supervillains. This is them making some extra cash because they're afraid one day we are going to catch on, especially with the SLR rule coming up, especially with the DTCC 008 rule coming up. We are likely seeing them try and squeeze as much money as possible right now out of the volatility from the markets here. People talk about needing a catalyst for liftoff, and they talk about Ryan Cohen's options such as stock split, dividend payout, share recall, stockholder meeting, etc. But here's one that doesn't get mentioned. There's an ancient ape saying that we can stay dumb longer than they can stay solvent. What's one thing better than just outlasting them and their solvency? Helping to reduce that solvency. How? By inflicting an aptly named max pain theory, right? We're going to explain that for you. There's a reason we finished at above 180 multiple times, and there's graphs showing our specific max pain point on GME currently. It's right around 175 to 185, right? And we can even check out the Swaggy Stocks dashboard. We've been tracking that Swaggy Stocks dashboard. It is a data science sentiment analysis tracker for a long time. You can even just straight up look at the max pain calculator by time and look at that beautiful graph right here. Exactamundo in terms of the calls and the puts here, as well as the open interest down here. Wow, if you guys want to see that, we're also going to include that in the description. Swaggy Stocks, really good analysis tracker here. Okay, so we must be doing something right because Citadel was already forced to make bad rated BBB minus bonds for 600 million liquidation. We covered this a while ago that they were asking for money. Essentially, they were like, we need money. Why? Maybe we're going bankrupt, maybe not. Give us some money right now. Maybe we'll find out later, right? This was a very badly rated bond, which means they had to pull out all the stops to try and get it out quickly. So it turns out that we can really stay dumb longer than they can stay solvent, especially when we drain them of that solvency. Get outplayed, Kenny G. So I know it's not the most exciting and perhaps even just a bit worrying to some, but we know we are sideways trading by design. It's actually what we want, that we're, the long institutions are, doing to help make shorts bleed even more and force liftoff sooner than otherwise, all right? So too long didn't read. Sideways trading inflicts max pain theory on short hedge funds, countering their hedging by keeping them neutral to make them bleed out even quicker, unable to profit off of GME volatility via options, both up and down each swing. I know we mentioned that we are going to cover exactly what the wash trade is, so we are going to cover that real quick. Just understand that starting like almost 100 years ago, it was amended the Grain Futures Act and also required all commodity trading to occur on regulated exchanges. Prior to the prescription in the 1930s, wash trading was a popular way to stock manipulators to falsely signal interest in a stock in an attempt to pump up the value so that these manipulators could then make money shorting the stock. Essentially the exact same process of shorting the stock first and then bringing it back, just the inverse. Let's see. Wash trading and their relationship with high frequency trading, right? It came back to 2013, right, as the phenomenon of HFTs were becoming widespread. HFT is the practice of using super fast computers and high-speed internet connections to perform upwards of tens of thousands of trades per second. And we've already talked about this last time with the payment for order flow shenanigans. HFTs oftentimes are just bad overall for the health of the overall markets and for the retail investors specifically. Wash trading has been found to play a role in trading at cryptocurrency exchanges as well. So according to research by the Blockchain Transparency Institute, approximately 80% of the top 25 trading pairs for Bitcoin at cryptocurrency exchanges in 2018 were wash traded. Let's see an example here. So wash trades are essentially trades that cancel each other out and have no commercial value as such, but they are used in a variety of trading situations. For example, wash trades were used in LIBOR scandal to pay off brokers who manipulated the LIBOR submission panels for the Japanese yen. According to the charges filed by the UK financial authorities, UBS traders conducted 9 wash trades with brokerage firms to generate £170,000 in fees as a reward for its firm for its role in manipulating LIBOR rates. Wash trades can also be used to generate fake volume for a stock and pump its price. Suppose a trader XYZ and brokerage firm collude to buy and sell stock and ABC rapidly. Noticing activity on the stock, other traders may put money into ABC to profit from its price movements. XYZ then shorts the stock, thereby profiting from its downward price movement. Overall, you understand this is nothing new according to the types of manipulation that we've seen in the past. So if this frightens you as much as it should, well, one of the best indicators of that we are not going to be taken advantage of based on our own volatility anymore is by our sideways trading. So that's something to take home, to also to leverage down on your financial education on the right way, doing your own social DD due diligence, making the research happen, and understanding that if you wanted to be able to at the very least get a little bit of a head start, a little bit of gasoline in your engines, hitting that subscribe and that bell button would be likely the best way to catch up to these bell-to-bell ticker symbol suggestions and technical analyses that we do on a daily basis, right? If you want to get your best news for financial education possible, that's the best way to keep informed. Thank you guys for liking this video ahead of time. Thank you for those of you who support the show by not only pressing that subscribe button, but the join button next to it and joining the Moon Platoon, the Meatball Space Legend tier, or the Gorillionaire tiers as mentioned here. And we will see you in the money. GME climbing. GME's climbing. 194, 1 second. Okay, what was happening in the chat? I couldn't read and talk and read at the same time. Let's see. I can only say it doesn't matter what I think is safe to say. Oh look, it's basically exactly as I predicted. So it got rejected again. I'm so excited to see predictions come true. It got rejected again at 195 after we saw this this tight consolidation here. This is likely part 1 of a large impulse wave. And oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Guys, get trains in the chat. Quick, spoons and trains in the chat. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. GameStop, come on. Come on, GameStop. Okay, pushing on 195 level of resistance. If we can get past this, we're likely going to return back to our high after a little bit of back and forth. It's a tug of war, and we are going to win here. Guys, are you excited as heck? Let's go. GME is such a tease. Surely. Jillian Marchioli says, in the name of Jordan Belfort, get money, everybody. GME. Get money, everybody. So be careful. This is a position of great vulnerability. We see our RSI are pushing 80, right? It's been pushing 80 for about a couple of minutes already. We see that the MACD is immense, ridiculously separated from the signal line here. Like, this is going to be one of the shows for today. We saw a breakout from 190, $5 up on the day, right? The last time we saw this was basically at the time of the market opening. A small paper-handed fall and then wedged us directly into a high. This is basically what's happening every single day. Small sell-off and then a wedge directly into an impulse. Jonathan Correll saying, studying from our organic chemistry exam and watching the live stream. Wish me luck. Good luck, Jonathan. Have a great exam. You're going to do good. Just take deep breaths and hodl. I can give him advice on his exam, but I cannot give you financial advice on what to do with GME and AMC. Let me show all of your emojis here. YouTube is getting like more and more ready to hide people's emojis. What do emojis even... I'm not scared of emojis. Heave. Ho. Let's see. Kachiga kachiga, you apes, the Scopio says. Choo choo. Let's go. So right now, seeing some major turbulence at 195 to be expected, right? We can't break a egg without creating a couple of omelets. I believe that's how that saying works. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, I'm just showing all of your trains here. hard to keep up, but I would like to see more volume, not only from the live chat, but also from our boy GME. It's exciting. Look at the brothers, just how different they are, right? AMC taking its sweet time. We just talked about why taking its sweet time could be beneficial. And actually, one of the better ways that we can prevent the hedge funds from taking too much of what belongs to us. However, with GME, it's just volatility all day, baby. It's just volatility all day. So this wedge that I drew up earlier, right, the breakout all the way up to the VWAP, it happened in a delay over here for let's see, should have started a little bit closer to 11. Instead, that minor impulse started at 11:30, so 30 minutes later. However, this is one of the, actually, this is one of the defining pieces of a larger impulse here. It might have actually started all the way at 186. This first impulse brought us up to $5 up, this, and then a small consolidation that brought us another $5. So this is actually only part 1 and 2 of a 3-part subwave. We should be able to see another $5 rise, and if that does get up to $200, choo, let's go. Music Hunter, remember, AMC, it's just taking its time. AMC is just taking its time, ladies and gentlemen. We just talked about how sideways movement is fine, right? We talked about how it's okay. Prevents the hedgies from doing the nasty to us. Okay, hold on, let me just make this a little bigger. Oh yeah. Kachiga, ladies and gentlemen. Gorilla's in the chat for our boy Trey. Get better soon. Want to see him all, want to see him talking today, likely going to live stream later today. Boy, oh boy, that's exciting. Okay, so GameStop getting rejected. Small rejection here, though, so it still could try and break over 195. Let's see if there's any news here. GameStop, oh, this is a Barron's report here. GameStop rises after it hires former Amazon executive. Right now, this is a report from like 7 minutes ago. So from 7 minutes ago, the company that brought on Andrea Wolf to be its vice president of brand development and Tom Peterson for vice president, it also is going to bring a former Amazon executive. We covered this already, but it's good to be able to see it again. Good to see it multiple times. Barron's is covering it here. Tomorrow is a deciding day. I'm imagining that Thursday is probably going to be a bigger deciding day. Ooh, Sorter, I see you. Thank you for commenting, telling us your opinions. Cowboy Moonsocket says, hey, I'm trucking in New York and I want to see GME and AMC start the ignition sequence. It's a gorgeous sunny day here, you beautiful apes. Cowboy Moonsocket, I like that. Oh, Chew Chew, like Chewy says Daemonic. That's very good. Chew Chew, that's more spoons in the chat. Okay. Ryan O says, I found this channel because of Trey. I hope he gets better soon and would like to see you guys work together again sometime. I want to as well. I'll reach out to him later today and see if he wants to double team it. But, you know, that man, he gets to decide his own future, right? If he wants to just independently go at it, I completely support whatever he wants. I just haven't asked him quite yet. Phew, Mo Money Army. Meatball, where'd you go? Just chilling? There you go, bud. Let's see. NYC in the house. Chris Rake is coming on again. Oh, let's get to that 75,000 subs. Only 800 more to go so I can buy another $1,000 in AMC and get that tasty dip. This is a very achievable goal, Chris Rakes. As a reminder, we have people putting their money where their mouth is, supporting the show right here. And if we can get to 75K, that is another $1,000 of AMC. So we have support for GME. We have support for AMC. You guys know what it is. What do we have here? 720 more subs until we get to 75K, right? Do it for Chris. Subscribe, get AMC a little bit more of a boost. We need to see AMC and GME get boosted.
Rick Rigney says, I got 10 $4 options for Senseonics ending on 416 with a theta of 0.0016. Today, the stock went up 6%. My options decreased 87% down to 0.01. How can that be? This is bordering too closely on financial advice, so I'm going to have to say generally, when it comes to options, this is one of the main pieces of the puzzle, that they are continuously delta hedging your position against you, right? And so essentially they're piggybacking onto your bet depending on how good or bad it is, but they are also working the longer play behind the scenes. Neutral Vega. California just sold all of their Apple stock for AMC. Wowee, ridiculous. Let's see. Zero-sum game knockout competition. I love Nathan Adams. He's just screaming in all caps in the comment section. Guys, that's the kind of energy that we need to see. Boom, boom. Andy McGregor says, can a friendly whale borrow shares with the intent of stopping other hedge funds from shorting? If not, why not? Ooh, that's a good point. Can they just borrow shares and just not sell them? Boy, oh boy, I've never heard of that theory yet. Not because it's not like a new theory, but it's because, like, generally, I feel like that there must be a reason why that's not like a stratagem that we've covered closer. So yeah. Okay. We stand the whiteboard, says Brian. That's funny. Uh-oh. Scissors. I mean, that's okay. Vegas Chef Andrew, we're okay with Simon. If he's just putting scissors in the chat, it's all good. Eve Doster, that's a good question. So respectfully, I will respond and say that this is just pledges of fans that love the show, right? So there's absolutely nothing in terms of like their contribution. They are already geared towards that that purchase, and it doesn't actually help your portfolio specifically, right? It's just a fun little like fundraiser mentality. So that's the point, right? There is absolutely no intention to have anybody buy or sell the stock. There's absolutely none of that. But people like Chris are looking to buy the stock himself, and he wants to tie that to a milestone of this channel. So hopefully that does make sense. If you do have any other questions or concerns, do let me know, because I do want to be able to address that very clearly. What am I drinking? I'm drinking a part cold brew from Costco and a part Frappuccino from Starbucks. Cost some money to borrow just to be petty? Says Ricky Burke. Yeah, it does cost them money. We're talking about long whales, though, people who would like to help out the squeeze. I mean, it does cost money for sure. It does cost them money, but if they want the GME to squeeze, this could be one way to do it. Let's see. Hold on. Sasquatch Vera says, yo, I got WeBull with your link. Quick question. Can you buy or sell before open? Yeah, you can. You can buy and sell pre-market and after hours. WeBull is one of the best. So if you guys haven't gotten your 2 free stocks yet, go grab them. Pretty cool. Samo Boucher, howdy. What's the goal for GME at the end of the day? We stopped with goals. We're just looking at the price movements now, right? Goals don't really get us close enough to we keep moving the goalposts and people get annoyed, right? We're not looking for goals here. We're just looking for indicators. And one of the indicators here is that if we can start rolling down this gamma ramp today, there is this beautiful little ramp, even looks like a ramp on a bar chart. Looks very beautiful. Yes. Oh, baby, someone just bought $2 million worth of $100 strikes. Call options. What? Someone just bought another 2 million. What's going on here? Okay, that'll be the title of my next video. $2 million more call options in GME at $100 strike. That's crazy. Aren't they giving 5 free stocks now? Are they? Let me use my own link to find out. Nope, it looks like it's only 2. This is a Frappo brew. Let's get some Frappo brews in the chat. It's Cholo milk? No, I don't think so. I am switching over for my indicators, not my brokers. I'm switching over from my indicators to TradingView and a partnership with Cheat Code Algo. It's entirely my my procrastination that I haven't set that properly up yet. So that's totally my bad, but I will be setting that up properly soon. Oh man, my back. Ooh. What are my thoughts about TD Ameritrade? I don't know much about it. It's just multiple different ways to be able to access the market. Now, that said, TD's Think or Swim has a little bit of extra data, but I'm not sure if you have to pay for it. My name is Jeff, says, Andrew, you need more recognition for what you do. Read a post on Reddit last night. I was so happy to see that people thought the same. Oh, Jeff, that means a lot to me. I really do appreciate it. DD says, do I have anything invested in Bitcoin? Almost all of my money is in GUSD when it comes to BlockFi. So if you guys don't want 8.6% interest, I suppose the BlockFi link down below is not for you. As Ryan says, new options $100 strike. Can you please elaborate? It's essentially exactly what it is. Someone bought someone or a group of people bought $2 million worth of call options. That means that they want to have the opportunity, but not the obligation, to to buy the stock at $100. This is deep in the money call options, which means they could exercise it right now, but it costs them money to do so. YR says, I'm going to PO box you an espresso machine if GME hits 500 mods. You can hold me to this. Okay, we heard it here. Espresso machine to the PO box. Sorter says, oh, poor dog, man. I'll pray you and Meatball, bro. I love my cat. We've been through everything together for the past 15 years. Much love. Thank you, Sorter. I appreciate that. TOS is free. Thank you for telling us that. MG Toe says TD Ameritrade did not allow him to sell the top of GME. Page kept locking up and fading of Page. Stay away from TDA. MG, are you trying to say that you almost paper-handed? You're trying to sell GME before the squeeze? Just a joke. Let's see. Okay, so we saw the missing piece of that puzzle that came out earlier this morning. We saw the possible catalyst, but we're likely not going to be able to actually take part of that meeting. Sideways trading until catalyst. We saw this. Actually, I'm going to add this to the description. Sideways trading. Ooh, 700 more subs until we get to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. Almost there. Wash trading. Oh, okay. We technically haven't seen that one yet. This one technically haven't seen that one either. This one. SLR. Okay, so we're gonna trillions to be added to the SLR calculation. I will just add this here. Okay, so we have 10 important historical dates. There we go. Penny Dar says, hey Andrew, I do pet portraits in acrylic. If you would like one of Meatball, Penny Dar, I would love that. I would love that. Send me more info.
at andrewmobusiness@gmail.com. Send me more info. Let's see. Do you want to live forever, apes? Says Broken Prophet. Maybe. Okay. Liviu Balancan says, can you check CAN? Where you see it going end of week? GME, go! Okay, CAN. I think we already covered CAN, but ASO is on deck, so CAN is coming out next. Ooh, Uncle Bruce, upcoming Netflix documentary. Soon to be pulling down $4 million annually? Him alone or that documentary? Wow. Michael Riley, that's really good feedback here. Let's see. How tall am I? I'm about 4'4". That's canon. Will AMC recover? We talked about how sideways trading is not necessarily a bad thing for AMC, but it allows us to prevent the shenanigans that it uses with shorting the ETFs, as well as short attacks, and finally allows us to prevent wash trading. Oh boy, there's no beef against Bruce. Never had some beef. It's we're looking at. Where's my phone? We're looking at the same research here, so that is the peer review that we need to do. Andrew's a halfling confirmed. John Guide Guidoni on Matt's stream earlier, someone said that you were going to be in a Netflix documentary. I didn't say I was going to be in it yet. I have talked to producer twice and the director yesterday. Seems like opportunities are good that I will be interviewed, and they might use the interview in the docuseries. 3 hours, 3 1-hour elements, and I'm really excited for it. Oh boy. Oh yeah, I could have been 6'9". Darn it. 4'20". There we go.
Did you drop your iPhone?
No.
Okay, good. You'd be screwed.
That's why I don't fumble around with the iPhone here. Halfling Rogue. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is here we're gonna do some ASO. Actually, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then we're gonna do ASO and CAN. So 10 important historical dates, the breadcrumbs leading up to the squeeze. 200 in read, right? 183 is the critical error that needs to be broken with momentum to force short HFs to begin covering the massive amounts of shares from March 10th. All right. It's okay. That phone is already cracked. Let's see. Kaya says, what's the scoop on AMC then? Likely to happen, or I am still very bullish on it. AMC doesn't look like it's changed any of its indicators, even if the Fin report is reporting a lower short interest. Still higher than 10. Still higher than 10%. The big ass glass makes me laugh. I got 2. Which one should I drink out of? Twitch streaming. Here we go. I drink this one, then I go to this one. Yummy. Israel Conda says the more the squeeze is postponed, the more money, and that's why that Israel. This is the reason why this channel is not an AMC or a GME specific channel, right? This is specifically the reason why we want to be able to focus up on the important once in a lifetime opportunities in the entire financial world. At the end of the day, we've been talking about passive income, financial freedom, and other ways to be able to take advantage of financial education that is entirely free out there. You could go out and get an MBA, or you could focus up on how to do technical trading here for free. So that is the main point right there. It's a mug and handle. Boom. David Anderson, I am likely not going to be able to stream the interview because it is a private interview, not for the public. Okay, so let's look at it again. Thesis, there are 10 days that matter immensely in the storyline that brings us to this week. The events on each of these days significantly affected those following and will continue to decline. The how, when, why the squeeze gets squoze. This DD will be narrative in nature, describing each event and its relevance to the events surrounding. This is kind of dope, actually. So I kind of want to do this narrative-driven story, but I want to take it from like the Netflix angle and be like, because the director talked about a lot of like narrative-driven stuff. Real Mr. Mix says, I'm a legal cannabis distributor in Santa Cruz, just saying. Are you? I have. Email me, because I think I've been there. I think there's only one in Santa Cruz. Maybe there's two. My coffee. Sorry, my coffee, it can be loud. Move my coffee over here. Oh, I have another place I can put them down there. There's so many places I can put them here. Okay, GJ Fry. What do you think about an axe being the cause of the glitches? Check out the definition on Investopedia under how it's used. You're talking about the, because we've covered the glitches before. I will check it out later. Should I just do it right now? Axe, Investopedia. Is an interest that a trader shows in buying or selling security that's already on his books. If he holds a long position, the trader's acts towards short-term put options might be significant. Oh. Acts has been historically shown to refer to bond holdings. In conversation, the term can be used to speculate about a trader's plan with regard to a security he holds. So you're thinking that the long whales are the ones behind the glitches, which is one of the leading prevailing thoughts right now. So it could be. 10 important historical dates. So once more into the fray. Let us take a look here. 5,000 of you. How's it going? I really do appreciate y'all coming in, checking out DD, and looking at GameStop's price here. Yeah, David, I saw that I saw Trey's video. Gorilla's in the chat for Trey, ladies and gentlemen, and then let's get started here. Hey guys, if you had an opportunity to understand that we have a story going on, it's narrative driven. Some of you cannot find out enough about one thing and then another thing happens. I know we update often. So that's why one of the first things I want you guys to do is go to the comments and tell me how often do you want this channel to upload, right? Because we're doing roughly somewhere between 4 to 8 uploads a day. If that's too much and it blows up your bell notification, we want you to be able to smash that subscribe and notification bell. So that's why we want to be able to listen to you. With that said, if you guys had not heard yet, we are talking to Netflix directors and producers about this narrative-driven story. And there are 10 historical dates from user suspicious-singer243 that we want to be able to cover, right? One of the first things that we got out of that director was that he cared a lot about making sure that this story made sense to someone just walking into the room, never had heard of GME, never had heard of a short squeeze, never had heard of stonks before. So let me tell you right now, this will be a comprehensive end-to-end discussion of the 10 most important dates in the month of March as we move into the month of April, and lots are going to change. The only thing I ask is helpfully, please go out and drop a fat like on this video to go and distract the YouTube algorithm from this video, and we can defeat it together. So let us just jump on through, show the source some love. We're going to have it in the description from user suspicious singer 243. Too long, didn't read. Once again, as a reminder, we're not financial advisors here. Time is running out. $183 area is the critical area that needs to be broken with momentum to force short hedge funds to begin covering the massive amount of shares from March 10th, which may spark the squeeze due to uncontrollable momentum, right? We want to be able to focus up on these 10 days with no knowledge of the GME situation whatsoever. So if that didn't make sense to you yet, it will. Watch until the end of the video to find out. Thesis. There are 10 days that matter immensely in the storyline that brings us to this week. The events on each of these days significantly affected those following and will continue to define the how, when, why the squeeze gets squoze. This DD will be narrative in nature in describing each event and its relevance to the events surrounding. So if you guys had not seen a single GME video yet of the story, this will be able to catch you up from the beginning of March. March 8th. Price climb starts from $154 and picks up speed. I'm going to be tracking along with this story here. Let's go all the way back to March 8th. So this is right around here. That's March 9th, and this is March 8th, right? We've been trading sideways for a good amount of time since then, right around 143. But this day on March 8th is when we started to pick up important speed right here, right above my head. So on this day, it starts from 154 and picks up speed. It builds momentum by cracking $200. Short attack right down to 175 to cripple momentum. What does that mean? Well, we know that when we are passing brand new milestones and breaking through barriers, one of the most easy ways to force us to realize that maybe there's a correction or maybe people in our party are paper handing is to try to force that illusion by using demonstrated and calculated shorts to be able to break that momentum down, right? It hurts not only us, but the long whales that are on our side. And so that is what happened to be able to bring us up to 200 and then right back down to 175. This kind of worked, consolidated around 183, then they possibly started covering these borrowed shares. Price climbs a little bit slower, so we started to slow down the momentum, but this was one of our major days that we actually started to see the $183 mark. March 9th, the next one. Let me scroll over to March 9th. So there's that crack to 200, and in the after hours we climbed a significant amount and actually opened the day above $200 and stayed there for much of that day. Oops, gap up and go. This is clearly a liquidity issue here as price moves very easily through the March 8th close of $194 to a new high of the day at $249. Likely FOMO kicked with the retail buying. A solid steady rise up. I remember thinking, did they give up? This seems weirdly calm, slow, and steady. Closes at $247.90. Now, for a normal stock, if you guys don't know anything, it's likely that you are thinking, okay, from 154 the day before to 247, that's $100 up on a $150 stock. So that's 66% up, right? That seems like pretty high, and it is. Do not forget that GameStop is constantly trying to find its true value after waving through the fields of manipulation. March 3rd, boom, sorry, March 10th. Boy, I wish I could read. March 10th. That is the day that we cracked up to the next part of our gamma squeeze, all the way to 350, and then flash crash all the way down to 170 before recovering. It's getting out of hand. Price goes up to 20% in pre-market and open at 270. No one is at the wheel. Maybe Jesus, I don't know. It's a race to 350 and beyond. Time to get swos. Then they Thanos the Avengers HQ and nuked the poop out of the price back down to 180. So we see that 180 once more. Given the scarcity of shares to borrow narrative and likely desperation, these almost certainly had to be naked and were required to be returned with 21 days or failed to deliver. DD on this by Pixel just didn't have enough pressure from both sides of the timeline. He gave decent probability to. Number 4. Days, nearly 2 weeks pass with low liquidity and virtually sideways trading. Sure, there were down days, but if you zoom out, we're pretty much going sideways, and that's just not how stocks trade ahead of their earnings call, especially highly anticipated reports. If you guys remember, we covered that basically the entire way up to the earnings call and that fateful day where we saw a major decline. So, breaks the fourth wall. Remember back to when we were about to snap and bring everyone back before we launched a massive short attack? Well, one thing to remember is that if you borrow something, you have to return it, but instead sell it, you eventually have to give it back. That's the whole point of why we're on this Reddit daily. If you guys remember, that is the definition of the short squeeze. They have to give it back, and they might have to give it all back at the same time, which is going to cause the price to go skyward. March 23rd. Let's skip forward to just a week ago. March 23rd is right here. And this day opened up strong and then ended up with a $30 dip. The call, it was overhyped. This is the earnings report call. Heck, we went out and bought bourbon and canceled grown man commitments so that they can drink brown stuff in the basement and learn about the future of the company. Meanwhile, Citadel is thinking this is an overhyped earnings call. We had perception, right? Expectations were way too high, and we can make even more money on these shorts from the 10th by dumping a likely boring earnings call by shorting the heck out of it and pretending with the plausible deniability that this was actually just paper hands trying to get out of the market, right? No, unfortunately not. Their shorts from $348 are in the black, baby. So they shorted on the very top and they made a bunch of money coming on the way down. March 24th, they go for the headshot. They let the MSM, the mainstream media FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt machine, spin a boring earnings call to dump it below the psychological $100 level. And this day was a terrible show, right? We were very scared. It fell from a... what is this? Basically $200 the day before, all the way down to 100. That's 50% down. Remember that 66% up? Right. So there are ups and there are downs. Let's see. Breaks fourth wall again. One thing we failed to mention about that call, while boring, Sherman said two things. One, 175% growth in e-commerce, and two, we are obsessed with becoming a technology company. Game, set, match. Bear short thesis is disproved. Buyers will show up. March 25th, 50% green day, right? We are seeing the bottom of the barrel get tested twice at 118, and then boom, saw that W went straight up. Technical analyses do not lie. We tested the same support twice, saw that there was basically no way to get down below this level, and people who had this right risk tolerance went and bought the stock, bought and hold. So this is a 50% green day. We are back. They couldn't dump it past $100, and buyers and whales showed up like it was a BOGO buffet meal in Oklahoma. Closes at 183. There it is again. This is important. Why? Because it cannot close above, or one, shorts financially must cover skyrocketing price and the value of the SFS call, and two, liquidity issues would send it too fast before DTCC rules change, pinning shorts between getting margin called and getting bankrupt. Check. So that's our first check. March 26th. Let's move on to the next day. And here we had a strong beginning to the day and the major red candle sell-off where we eventually consolidated at the end of that day. Getting really close to our current day cycle, guys. It's getting out of control again. Pre-market is on fire and opens at 197. So that 50% dip immediately made up for in basically a 48-hour window. Massive sell walls appeared at 199, 200, 201. We were covering that last week. I remember this popping up for 60 seconds left before open and thinking $200 is the last stand. They aren't effing around this time. Basically, we saw there was $5 million of calls versus $5 million of puts. They were just major battlegrounds that day. Buyers show up and whammy. Short attacks. Seems like this thing gets cooking, starts to boil over real fast. They unload to keep it under 212, ended at 181. That was that day that we were, before WeBull updated asynchronously, we had a 1 cent difference from my prediction. That was fun. Finally, forgot we missed a 9. Oops. Well, I guess this is the 9 days you need to pay attention to. March 29th, yesterday. So yesterday, completely sideways movement. We were drawing wedges, we were drawing ramps, and basically, if you zoom out, absolutely nothing. It was just a boring day. So the 180 sideways, and here we are again back at 183 in after hours. Thesis: 183 is the line in the sand where anywhere above significantly? No. Exponentially increase the number, the shorted shares that are certainly underwater from the mini March 8th and mega March 10th attacks, and not just a few here and few there throughout the day. Each and every one of these shares they dump to make it halt 3 times downward over their lunch break. If bulls can get the price either high enough in the pre-market, we're talking about $200 at the bell, maybe 212, and benefit from buying pressure at open, enough momentum will require the SHS to begin, the short hedge funds, to begin covering in massive buys as they are running real low on ammo to short. Pressure is turning up on the shorts. Price won't go down substantially as hodlers really mean it, making covering expensive. We've covered how much of the float we own as retail investors. We are the whale now. All short-dated $800 calls are expired, so there's no cheap way out. The rules of engagement are changing with the SEC, DTCC, and as of April 1st, federal requirements of cash for banks to have on hand changes. The SLR, which we covered both in 60 seconds and longer form analysis, which will likely give the short hedge funds less access to cheap cash borrowable shares. FTD deadline for the March 10th nuke attack is March 31st, right? 21 days is the FTD due date. However, they, one, may not deliver, and two, may have to start buying in advance of. Regardless, March 31st is not a prediction date. For what it's worth, not a date prediction, but someone's likely looking for these books given regulations are increasing, and the fear of being audited is what really matters. And finally, their friends are getting margin called, increasing the visibility on irresponsible hedge funds. The time is running out, and if you guys had any questions or specific narrative questions about what happened in March, I would be happy to answer it. But one of the things that you have now been caught up on is the narrative of how GameStop is moving from one place, stuck at 183, moved through a large amount of volatility, and then is returned again like a respawn point to 183 every time. Now that you've been caught up, I would really recommend paying it forward, giving this post some love, right? Go to the source down in the description below, comment and say, hey, I'm from Andrew Mo Money, I appreciated this post, and then come back to this video and give it another look through, maybe give it a like, give it a subscribe, and the bell button as well. And if you are feeling extra much like a Mo Monkey, then joining the Moon Platoon or the Meatball Space Legend tier or the Gorillionaire tier using the join button next to the subscribe button or the Patreon link is your best bet. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the money. GJ Fry says, oops, I meant Axe, not Axe, can be used to create artificial selling pressure on a stock by placing a large limit sell order. Thank you for that clarification. I'm going to go through and see if you guys had any other questions. Let's see. Liam Kyer says, not calling anyone out, but the caps button broke along with the sell button. Fair enough. Oh man, what's up with Palantir? Sure, we can check it out in a sec. Palantir is really just grinding on that sideways trend. We actually saw some Palantir articles earlier. No scratching, Meatball. I'm watching you. Okay, here is the Palantir. A low bottom company has become too important to fail. Here is why. Ooh, this is a little long, but here is the too long didn't read. We are going to deliver the world's best software with the world's most efficient way of delivering it. Whoa. Investors will decide what that's worth to them, and I think you'll find in a number of years that there will be a consensus. Palantir is truly a special software company. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I guess it's because, most importantly, that Palantir I have been bullish on for a while as a long-term play, as a very long-term play, right? So it's still trading sideways for the moment. Might be a good time to get in. We've talked about that. So these are resistance and support levels that I drew a long time ago. It's actually back down to its low all the way back in the beginning of March. Is that the lowest it's been? I was drawing these levels of support all the way back in February, but no, this is the lowest it's been for a long time. Even back in January, it was at $22. Okay. I'm gonna buy some Palantir, ladies and gentlemen. I'm afraid of buying right now because of the sheer amount of shenanigans that could happen because of the financial crisis, right? But remember, these financial crises are just a little blip on the way. Even the Great Depression was just a blip on the way for the general stock market, right? The 2008 financial crisis was a blip on the way. At the end of the day, cash is trash. If you're keeping your money under your pillow, it's likely going to cost you a lot of money in potential opportunity cost, right? So that's just the point of it. Also, we are 700 away from 75,000 subs. Really excited. Can you check out that Kenny G from Citadel started a GoFundMe? Just Google help Citadel LLC GoFundMe. Really, I can't believe that they're sharing the. Oh my God! Really? This isn't real. No. Hello, my name is Kenneth. No. Yes, no, this is fake. Oh, but that's really funny though. Thank you, Kenneth, for taking the time to put this campaign together. When I began my life as a little boy in Bulgaria, I dreamed of the day I could impact millions of Americans in the worst way possible. Oh, look, Vlad Tenov gave money to this. This is nice. Duh, look at this face. Oh, man. Michael Rake said, given all that GME, what do people keep, is this autocorrect to GMC, is doing as a business, what would this still be a company hedge funds would short? Would they want to out of this regardless of apes? GME is at a precipice of, if they don't innovate right now with Ryan Cohen, they would have gone underwater, right? The way that they were running their company, like, didn't sit well with not just normal investors, but like everybody, right? So, in that sense, because Ryan Cohen is jumping on, it was one of our first opportunities to see that this is a big turnaround play, right? And now GME is easily in the fundamentals worth like significantly more than what it is currently. I am interested in buying Palantir. I might buy Palantir off screen though, so you guys don't yell at me. Okay, so back to GameStop. Kakov Films. Hey Andrew Mo, check out your Twitter. I just shared with you a thingy I made. Sure thing. I'll check out a thingy you made. You know I love thingies. Christian Sorensen, thank you for joining that Moon Platoon. Boom. Let's see.
Are you trying to figure out how they go to?
I was trying to read a tweet. Okay, Kakov. Oh, Kakov Films. Let's see what you made here. Let's cover up Kenny G real quick. Don't buy GameStop. Buying and hodling is harmful to hedge funds and may turn you into a millionaire. Oh, I see what you did there. Scared me. Woo! Alright, so back to this GoFundMe. I do want to read the whole thing. This is pretty hilarious. Oh, Derek says you should post some of your 60-second videos on Twitter so we can retweet and spread the channel on content. Okay. That's a good point.
Someone's like, take Ken off the screen.
Take Ken off the screen? Heck no. Ken belongs on screen. He's a diva, can't you see? He's a diva. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my channel, and then I'm gonna get that first 60-second film, and then I'm gonna share it. He just stares into your soul, truly. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tweet what's happening. I made this GME / AMC. I made this the McSqueeze easy to digest. Watch if you have invested in AMC and GME. AMC GME. That's it. Boom. Alright, so everyone go out and retweet it, I suppose. So I made the McSqueeze easy to digest. Watch if you were invested in AMC GME. Boom. Okay, so now we're gonna watch. He's even bigger now. Charles Bam says hi to your mom. YouTube has shorts now. I definitely had tried shorts before. However, unfortunately, they're not that great. They're not that great. Also, you can't monetize them. So there's multiple reasons why YouTube doesn't want to push them. Because YouTube cares about how much money you make on these videos. Fake smile, which is crazy considering his wealth. You have to really just not smile at the eyes. You gotta go. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. We apologize, Mom. Sorry for shushing you.
Thank you. Thank you, chat. I might reveal. Be right back. Be right back. Just might.
Why is he leaning? There we go. That's a perfect Citadel. Okay, let's do this quick. Let's do a quick 60-second update. Hey guys, if you guys wanted to help out one of the richest people in the world, we have Kenny G supporting Citadel LLC to stay in business. This is a quick 60-second update on this, which is totally true and not a troll post at all. Hello, my name is Kenneth C. Griffin. I founded Citadel in 1990 and has since served as the firm's chief executive officer. I'm also a passionate philanthropist, supporting educational and cultural causes that drive community engagement. I've given $1 billion to numerous organizations, including the University of Chicago. I didn't realize that he loved Chicago so much. Anyways, we as a company decided to make this GoFundMe so we can keep being philanthropists and support all of this wonderful organization. Also, my boyfriend has just started to take lesson in gender equality at Harvard University. Have you any idea how much that cost? I realize this person doesn't have any, has not enough nouns and verbs in here. We tried to raise some capital earlier this month, but no one was dumb enough to buy our bonds. Remember, 3.375% BBB minus $600 million worth of bonds. They tried to raise some money, and now it's time for this GoFundMe. We need about $1 trillion because we accidentally tried and bankrupt a company called GameStop. They only had 14,000 employees, and yes, they would have been out of a job, but think about the wonderful things we do as a company. However, since we couldn't allow $1 trillion, most of you are lazy and poor, we will just do $1 billion GoFundMe for now. Thanks and regards, Kenneth C. Griffin, Chief Executive Officer. Well, if you guys want to just hear more about how Kenny G is going to save his company with a GoFundMe, make sure that you've already slammed that subscribe button and hit that like button. Comment down below if this is the content you're looking for, and we will see you next time in the money. Boy, oh boy, that was scary. Are you trying to do a face reveal?
Are they ready?
Okay, so I promised you guys I was going to face reveal my mom, so we'll do it real quick. Come on. This is going to take like 10 seconds. Oh, is that a Andrew Mo Money hoodie? Straight up AndrewMoMoney.com? All right. Well, thank you, Mom.
Love you.
Me too. Sorry for both of those skits just now. For those of you who are looking for honest to goodness news, we're just having a little too much fun right now. Please support Kenny G. Oh man. So it is 11. I actually am late for a meeting, so I am going to run out of here. I'm going to clip up some of these. I'll be back by Power Hour. Have a fun time, and I think you guys are going to go support Kenny G. I suppose he needs $1 billion right now. So there you go. See you guys later. This is the kind of fun we have at the end of these streams. I'll be back for Power Hour. We'll see you then. And for now, but not for forever, check out one more time at these really wonderful people that have supported the show. If you guys want to as well, press that join button next to the subscribe button, and we will see you in the money. Peace. That was Andrew Mom Money.
Who's the good man? Aw, did you hear that?